Hi friends, good evening, and this is your host Ankit joining you from India, and we have Kimberly Kalun joining us from North Carolina. Namaste, Kim, and good evening and good morning to America and around the world. And I think today is Super Sunday, and we have a lot of things lined up. And this is our message for our viewers: spread a lot of love, unite yourself, and keep the strength and share your best practices around the world.
That's right. And Kit, it is a glorious morning, and it's a day of rest and prayer for most people. Faith, just to wind down before you wind up for the weekend. We've just got this fabulous things going on today. Last night was really fun with Sasha to learn about the chess. He's so just fun to listen to anyway. But what's interesting is we were actually watching chess games that were played over 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like opening up a history book, and he knows every one of them, and he knows the moves they're going to make. So what a pleasure and an honor. But we've got a lot going on today, don't we?
Yeah.
A lot to look forward to. So the dreaded part is everybody always asks that we kind of give them the updated status. People who are watching us, they want to know what's going on with COVID. So okay, let's talk a little bit. How's it going there in India?
So, things are okay. Things are the same as it was earlier. We still have reported new cases every now and then, and we still have people dying every day. So last 24 hours stat is that around 2,000 people have been reported with new cases, and also around 47 have died. So, so that is what's going on in it.
And every day we look at the worldometer and we see that the U.S. has not come near our flat line. We haven't even reached the peak yet. But some good news have floated my way that, and you mentioned this in India, that the crime rate was down, but in Miami, the murder rate is down. Okay, so like zero. They went from 576 a month to zero.
Wow.
Now to understand some, I know this is a bad joke. It's not funny, but I used to say in some cities the murder report was like the weather report, right? This morning it was a high of 2, and we show that there's going to be more coming. Make sure you wear your bulletproof vest this week, folks. Now it's horrible. The murder rates can be really, really bad, and Miami is that's they've got a very bad murder rate, and they've reduced to zero. Now I measure this in law enforcement along with some other stuff that I used to do with my invention. We had what we call domestic violence crime, and that's very, very high in every city and state. And there was actually one city that reduced that crime rate to zero. No more domestic violent fatalities. And they have the crime, but they end it. They nip it in the bud. So you have to ask yourself, why all of a sudden have all the murders stopped in Miami?
Hello,
Namaste.
hello, namaste.
Good evening to you.
Good evening
We're sharing some good facts about COVID, and confusing, right? We know that the U.S. is still climbing and stuff like that, but our crime rate has dropped like our stock market dropped. It's just like the stock. I don't know if it, but not the crime in general as much as murder. The murder rates have dropped in Miami, say generally about 576 a month, according to a report I received from a friend. It's down to zero.
Oh my gosh.
People
It's,
are afraid.
it's zero, not one or two. And I don't know, there might be a rumor out there that they're calling every death COVID-19 death, so they're not going to report murders. But seriously, folks, let's be
So I'll
real.
tell you, I'll share one incident what's happening in India. So people who are doing some petty crimes, or maybe not wearing mask and still on the road and doing whatever thing which is illegal or maybe unconstitutional at this point of time during the lockdown. So what happened is that the cops, Rakesh, this is for you as well. This cops and the traffic police, what they have an ambulance parked on the road. Okay. So when they caught someone, they said that there's a COVID patient inside the ambulance, and we are putting you inside the ambulance. And that video is very funny. People don't want to get inside the ambulance, and they are ready to do whatever things they can. And then they put it inside, and then the people are climbing down from the windows and from the outer doors. And it's a funny video because we have to do some kind of these kind of activities or things. I mean, if I'll show you a video, you will be amazed what's going on.
I saw
Because
it is very
yeah,
funny.
it's an amazing video basically. So these are different innovative ideas. What I mean, the police is doing in India to make them realize that this is not a good time and we need to stay
No,
alive.
I think it's interesting to me because I used to travel, and that's what I would listen to is the murder reports every morning before I get up and go anywhere. And now we're looking at, here we go, guys. Miami went 7 weeks without a murder for the first time since 1957.
That's before I was born.
One murder. Not one murder in 7 weeks. You got to ask yourself, what did COVID do to curb the murder mind? You know, and I look at this, okay, so please don't take me wrong on this, but I look at this and I go, I'm not going to have any more 24-hour shows to watch or in 48 hours or those forensic shows to watch if this happens. But this is a good thing, folks, because I would rather keep paying our police officers a lot of money and the murders drop and we just keep paying the police officers. We don't need to reduce our EMTs and police departments because the crime rate has dropped. That would be the worst thing we would do right now. So, you know, because this is what happens in our country. Oh, we've had no pandemic in 5 or 6 years. We're going to fire a pandemic team. So I just want our leaders to take a look at this and not sit there and go, oh, we've had no murders in 7 months. We can fire our law enforcement. I don't want them to do that. So, you know, but what a good sign, right? And I don't know, is it humanity coming out in the murderers? Are they all of a sudden becoming humanitarians like they did during 9/11?
I mean, beyond humanity, I mean, they are protecting themselves basically because they also think that they will also be and that's what saving the life.
So as soon as we give them a vaccine, they're going to be right back at it. Hopefully, maybe we can get some online training for them. Maybe they'll watch our TV show, get inspired to do something else besides crime for their money. But I think that's great. We've cleaned up our earth. We've reduced our ozone. And we reduced murders. We've reduced crimes. We've got a lot of inspirational things happening. I think more people are praying.
Yeah.
I think more people are praying today. And I received good news. My friend that was a nurse in the infant ward where they received COVID-19 patients and she came in contact with them, she just tested negative. So I'm very happy that and I guess the thing is that fortunately for her, even though she did not have the PPE equipment, she had really good disciplines and they probably saved her, right? So she probably washed her hands 100 times a day and used gel until her hands dried up. But you know, so I'm thankful that she tested negative. But
I mean, Kim, do you know about what happened in Georgia? Because there was a news that Georgia, I mean, governor wants Georgia to open out with the economy, and they've opened the barbers, the shops, and the spas and all. And suddenly you see a rise in the COVID.
So let me share that with you. Yeah. So in Georgia, they decided to go ahead and open up. And, you know, the president kind of decided to let all the governors do their own thing because we're under a different kind of pandemic in the U.S. It's you know, called idiots are us. You know, we want to get out there and work. So I can be really dumb sometimes. All right. So let's see. So we got to just get out there and work. We can't sit back and just wait it out a little bit. We have to just be there and Let's see if I can add this back. It's not moving, so I'll stop and reshare. But the problem is that people aren't being patient. Now, if you listen to our beautiful Dr. Art yesterday, who came on our show, and he shared with us some really good information about, oops, wrong one. Can I change it? What happened? You'll have to bear with me a second. Sometimes these are
No
not
problem.
working like they. Did you pull it up, Georgia Duke? Is that
I
what?
didn't.
Okay. So hold on. Let me try one more time. So anyway, so you got these governors that are under pressure for the economic reasons, right? And here we go.
We have 635 new cases, 20 more.
Right. So
But that today, I mean, can you pull tomorrow's yesterday's case, because you'll have a better picture. Because the day they have started opening the economy, the cases have rised up like anything.
right. So that's what I'll do. I'll try to pull up what the cases were a week ago. But if you recall that letter I shared yesterday before Dr. Art came on, it was a letter from one of the doctors here in North Carolina. And she explained how, thanks to the social distancing policy that we put in place, we've cut our numbers in half. And just give us another month. This is her plea. Give us another month and we'll reduce it down to where we'll probably have, very minimal cases to deal with. Right now, they have about 200 cases with 70 on ventilators, and that's about the most they can handle. They will not be able to handle much more. But her plea is that, and she explained it in data. This is what I loved about this doctor. Her thing is she simply explained, if you go back to normal, to doing things like this, by June, our numbers will double again. We'll be up to 575. In this small town, we'll be up to 575 cases, and we won't have enough ventilators and beds. So, and that's a doctor from a small town area that they have a lot of cases, but they're controlling them. She saw a dip. She saw it go from way up here. She explained it. She saw it go from here to in half just in that short period of time. So this right here shows how wrong the process is. The policies are not in place. And this is what Dr. Art said that we have to do. We have to put some good policies in place before we just go out and start cutting hair. And this surprised me. He told me that before they treat their patients, he makes them sign a contract.
Yeah.
Wow. Way to go. I had to wonder about some of those patients that received hydroxyquine or however you pronounce that drug that President Trump was touting. And every one of them that took it, the minute they recovered, they come out and go, "Thank you, Donald Trump." And I'm like, why not thank you, doctors? Thank you, pharmaceuticals. Thank you, mom and dad and wife and husband for being there and saving me. No, or nurses. No, it was thank you, Donald. So I had to wonder, was there a contract that if you survive and we give you this drug, you thank Donald Trump? So here we have a situation. There was a huge debate with the governors. Other governors are trying to do the same thing. We got the mayor in Vegas who said, "I'll tell you what, I'll offer up the city of Vegas. They're Sin City anyway. I'll offer up the city of Vegas. You just let people come back to social distancing, and we'll figure it out." And I go, okay, that's nice. Now can we just pack all of these protesters on a plane and send them there, and we'll just figure it out with them because they don't seem to be worried. What is your opinion on this, Ankit? And you said you wanted me to pull up the data from a week ago.
Yeah. No, not a week ago, but 2 days ago, if you can pull it up.
From Georgia 2 days ago?
Yeah, because what happened is that a lot of states, but so the mayor wants to shut down and the governor wants to open. That's what's happening in US. And people are not on the same line, and they are not sure what to do, because I think they have a pressure from public to open up the economy, and on the other hand, they have a pressure from the people in the health department to close it. So they are in a vicious circle set whether to open it or close it, and that's how ball is revolving from here and there, and that's what President Trump is also I mean, he's not clear what to do, because one day he said that it's about the federal government and they will decide it, and then it's about the governors, and it's about the mayors, and then you have a lot of heated arguments on media and in front of everyone. So it's a surprise act. I don't know what's going on in US. And while doing this, we can see around 1 million people have been suffered from COVID. So I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so
From
yeah, we're up to it. I think just in the U.S. we're up to almost 1 million coronaviruses,
Yeah.
and 50,000, close to 51,000 deaths. Now again, this has not been updated since Friday.
Oh,
Because they don't update these numbers on the weekends. They said they were not going to update the numbers on the weekends. So so by Monday, this number is usually pretty big. So what I have been able to do is occasionally on the weekends I can get certain city reports, and like I'll see, overnight New York ended up with 5,000 new cases, and that was 2 weekends ago. They reported 5,000 new cases overnight. So but let me see. I'm still looking for Georgia. What are you seeing on my screen when I'm bouncing around? Like, do you still see that? Okay. So if we look at, let me share this with you because this is pretty shocking in itself. And I don't think people are really realizing the dangers of just opening up, right? They just, but currently, right now, the whole world is looking close to 3 million cases. So there you go.
wow.
Yeah, there you go. And that was probably Friday at noon. So we are not, this is what I tell people, we are not the country to watch right now for an example of how to address this. And we're letting cities. So as you see, New Jersey's up to 100,000. Let's take a look at Georgia. So Georgia on Friday was at 22,000 cases. A total of close to probably 1,000 deaths by now. So, and they're claiming, the report says, let's take a look. Nope. Ooh-wee. I get too many things up, so give me a second.
No worries.
Here we go. I keep forgetting that when I do something on, there we go. But if we looked at those data and then we looked at Georgia opened up and they were, I'm not going to say they were flatlining. They were not flatlining. They were just pushy to, I need to get my barbershop open. I need to get my restaurant open. I need to, and then you have people not like me, but people who need to get their hair done, people who need to get their nails done, people, to me, that's not a necessity. So unfortunately, you guys are going to watch my hair grow. I hate it long, but I'm not going to cut my own hair either. So, but the thing is that right there in itself is data to show proof it didn't work. Or you're going to get those people going, wow, that wasn't bad at all. Look at the per capita. That's a lot of people in Georgia. So really the casualties of war is not, so you're going to get that speech, probably something Trump will go, wow, we're not so, because this is what Trump does. We're not doing bad. We could be worse. I hate that. Every time he says we're not doing bad, I'm just, yes, we are. So, because every death to me at this point is a effect of their decision. Every death today is a cause. If you look at cause and effect, every death today is that effect from their decision. And I think putting people's lives at risk is not worth the economy coming back right now. Am I wrong?
what's your take on on the current situation around the world? I mean, Hong Kong is still in a, I think in a good scenario right now.
Yeah,
But what about the other
it's a reasonably good scenario in Hong Kong. I'm just I think in the USA the chain of command in a crisis is not clear. So you're bound to have this problem. I think if he had not sacked that pandemic team that was supposed to be working out this thing, perhaps they would have had greater control and he would have been the greatest beneficiary. Mr. Trump would have been the beneficiary. Unfortunately, I can understand that he wants to take he's got a dream of keeping the United States in the forefront of the world economy, and that is a legitimate dream. But I think that the one of the ways to do this is to have a clear chain of command for any crisis, because this is something is clearly a crisis. It is something which it is not only a crisis. In another time, if we didn't have the internet, we wouldn't even notice this. But this is a disease which has happened in the time of the internet, and we've started to notice it because everybody's aware of what's happening all over the world. So there's a multiplicatory factor in people's minds, and uh, there are fears. I mean, every reaction that you see, every protest is a fear. There's a fear that uh, they will they will have poverty. There's a fear of poverty is greater, especially in India. People say we will, and I heard somebody in Africa saying the same thing on BBC, that we'll die of hunger if we don't die of coronavirus. So we'd rather die of die working, and that's a point of view. What can we do? Because we are, the three of us are relatively secure in terms of our income, but so life matters. But if you're in a situation where you're teetering on the point of survival, then you don't care about the virus.
Well, here's the thing. First off, if somebody needs food, reach out. And I know we're not in everybody's watch list right now, but reach out to Ankit or I will figure it out. There are people out there, millionaires and billionaires, and that's their mission. I have people constantly reaching out to me. Hello, ma'am. We're sending food to kids. Please get the word out to people. Um, I'm willing to put them on our TV show. For some reason, they don't want to be on our show. But what I'm telling people is that there are people out there, missionaries, millionaires, and billionaires. They want to help. One of the things I was real proud of in our state, don't get along the best with my governor, but he put the children first, and he's getting food delivered to children who normally would not get food during the day because of the way they have at home. They get free meals at school, and so he is making sure that they at least get some meals delivered to them. That's not an easy task, but they're doing it. But there are so many other people who are starving. You're right. And
Yeah, that is the. I'm not saying that that's the case in Georgia. I mean, I don't know because I have never been to that part of the U.S. I've just been to a few states in the east side, and so I even that was very very brief trip. Um, I don't understand what is happening in Georgia, but I do think that part of that is the fact the chain of command is not clear. When you have something which is biological like this and doesn't can very seriously affect populations who are economically active, and if you destroy the economically active people, then how are you going to recover from your economy? If you kill them off by a bad decision, then you have to wait another 30 years before a child grows up to an economic productive level. So I don't know how these governors think. The shrewder ones would be a little careful, because if you want to, and if I were Mr. Trump, I would also be careful. But if I want to make the United States number one or great, I need people growing the economy. If that lot of people die out, if a generation of that age level dies out, then already China on purchasing power parity, they're ahead of the US. They did it in 2013, 7 years ago. So if you really want to catch up and preserve the lead in nominal value of currency, then you need to keep the people who are producing value alive. If you say we need to start up the economy and those people die out, you're going to slip further and further back. That needs to be driven in. There are economic advisors, but Mr. Trump is a sort of cowboy attitude, I would say.
So, like you said, the minute we got hit with this, instead of making the decisions himself, he should have put the pandemic team. Even if he fired him, I would have gotten on my knees, picked up the phone, and got on my knees and said, "Come back."
Come back.
You
don't even have to get back on your knees. Those people are probably committed people anyway, so they would have come back anyway.
Well, you don't know how Trump fires people, so.
I've seen the first part of his that serial, You're Fired serial, and then I'd been in corporate life for some time, so I said, this is not real.
Yeah, no, it is in his world, but not in the real world. But I have to say that there are so many things that can be done for our economic situation. There are great minds like David M. Walker that you can form an economic team with these people and just say, go to work. All right. That's what a good leader does. Here's my team. I'm surrounded by all of these brilliant minds. Go to work. Go to work.
A good leader is not afraid of brilliant minds.
No, they're not.
A leader like Trump is.
Yeah.
Because there's very little substance, He was given $1 million and then he made it into millions. Fine, that's good, all credit. But running a country is about harnessing the best talent. And it's quite different. Business is simple, one direction, money. Running a country has so many parameters. It's the same with Modi, frankly. He has certain, but to be frank, he's been learning faster than Trump, much faster, and he doesn't put his mouth his foot in his mouth so often as Trump. The disinfectant thing was a complete. I saw it. He was not being sarcastic. He was actually just looking extremely foolish and desperate.
I asked that question in a goofball way because I knew people would be asking, if we could wash our hands and get rid of why isn't there a solution we could put inside of us, and we, and I did ask that question, but I asked it as a question, not as but the thing is, to me, that's not the worst he did. I think the worst thing he did was when Kuma was asking for supplies, and instead of picking up the phone and transferring supplies from one hospital to another, from one state to another, on a Twitter, he said, I gave you this. I gave you this center. I help you do this. And I give you this and I give you this. What more do you want? Flowers? And
that's a defensive reaction, which is not what a leader, he's the head of the country, supposed to be the most powerful man in the world. Why is he getting defensive?
I know. And what I would have done, I would have picked up the phone. I would not have made it a public matter. Not one person would have known anything, and the supplies would have been delivered. But the other thing is something that our country didn't do, and it's so easy to do because the military does it, is immediately we should have done an accounting of every one of the supplies at every medical center. Then you put it into a database, and then you look at the volume of business they have versus the amount of supplies they're using. The military does it. Then you can sit there and go, okay, this one has a lot of resources that this one needs, and you what? You transfer, right? And it's that simple. But we didn't do that. So now you got people going, we got plenty. We don't know why everyone's complaining. You got people going, we don't have enough. They're steaming their own PPE equipment or cleaning their own equipment now that should be disposable. They're not getting the resources, and some of the medical centers are being made to pay for resources, but they're not making income right now. They've lost all of their income. So there should be a grant program for them in the stimulus, not for Ruth Chris. I hate to say that, but Ruth Chris got $20 million, and I got a medical center down the street that should have gotten the $20 million. So there's not a lot of, it's all about who owes who when you have two political parties here. It's all about party favors.
It doesn't get better if you have more than two.
Well, we have three, but nobody ever acknowledges the third. Nobody ever pays attention to the third, and they're probably the most innocent, most humble, and smartest. They are usually the smartest people. Like the last one was Johnson. Nobody even knew he existed because you had Trump on the page, 5 pages of the news every day. But Johnson is probably one of the most brilliant minds, and nobody considered him. Everybody goes, well, I'm going to vote for the worst of two evils. And I go, there's 3 people. There's 3. And so everybody pretended there was only 2, Hillary or Trump. And all they were doing was hogging up the media time. And I just, but that's our country as a whole. Yes.
It's a TRP rated thing. It's everything based on your TRP. And that again goes down to this pernicious practice of the head of any organization, including a media organization, being reimbursed based on the stock price. That was one of the most pernicious things that has entered economics and politics in the free world, not just the USA. So
I agree. And you know what, Rakesh, we've got a very special moment for our show coming up. So we're going to wrap this conversation up just for right now because I want to get back to it. I think this is what the world, but we got a very special Sunday skit going on that I'm very excited about bringing.
Look forward to that. I'm waiting for you to hear that. Yes.
So we're bringing the theater to you folks on Sunday. Ankit, you want to introduce them?
Yeah. So today we are trying our first digital play reading with Nikunj and friends, and they're already waiting us for it backstage. And the play name is The Little Love. And here you go. I mean, it's about the play, and they'll be reading it out with different characters. And viewers can watch us live on YouTube, Facebook, and on our website. It's a small play, and it will be fun, and we are very excited to be part of it. So I will introduce Nikunj and friends to join us live. Let me start with Nikunj, and he will introduce. Hi, Nikunj.
Hi. Thank you. Hi, Rakesh. Hi. Good evening. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this beautiful play. And great, beautiful to Sunday.
So, I think, so what we should do, Nikunj, is that we have a limitation of 6 windows. We are occupying 4. So I'll put 2 people. Just wait for it. I mean, let him introduce, and then we'll do it accordingly. Okay?
Sure.
Start putting people on live and start introducing. So, yes, Nikunj. Nikunj, over to you.
Yeah, okay. So we have about 4 characters in the play, and we have a person who will be doing the stage directions for us. She is Vani. I think she's in the backstage.
Okay, let me.
So we'll be needing Vani, Mary, and Shom might also be there on the backstage.
Okay. I can't see Shom on the backstage. I mean, Shom is using some other name.
Maybe he's using Jerry. If you can check that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
waiting for that to happen. Yeah.
Cool, great.
Welcome to on IBM channel, and we are looking forward to have this wonderful play with our viewers around the world. So, Nikunj, I think you have to take initiative and introduce everyone to the party, and then let's see how it goes.
Yeah, sure. So it's just a 15-minute play, not a very long one. It's a cute little teenage love story and a story how people behave with their parents also in their teenage. Okay, Vani will be our narrator and the one giving the stage directions. And as the play proceeds and the narration goes ahead, everyone will get to know how we start.
Great. Should we start
Yeah.
then? Should I
Yes.
keep Vani on the front stage, or do you want her on the back stage? How do you want
No,
that? Or you,
we are okay like this only. We are okay having six screens divided. That'll be
so
good.
I'll go on backstage. I'm managing from backstage, and
Sure.
whenever you want, you can message me. So over to you. I'm just going back. So here.
Thanks. Over to you, Vani. Over to you, Vani. You start.
Yeah.
Vani, you might
Vani,
want to
you're on mute.
unmute yourself.
Vani, you're on mute.
Okay, so I'll tell you
Can't hear you,
how
Vani.
to manage it. So there might be some technical issues, so don't worry about it. It's a part
Yeah,
of
that's
the
okay.
okay, and don't
That's
be
okay.
hesitant if there is something, and you have to unmute yourself if you are using it. And if you need anything, you can message me on the back page.
Yeah, sure. That's okay. We'll just check if Vani can unmute herself.
I think she would have had to do that when she signed in. I mean, there must be.
No, there is a button niche, na? She can
Yeah,
unmute.
there is a.
Yeah.
It's just like those other chat functions. Yeah? I mean, I don't know if she's logged in from a phone. I don't know how it works, but on that you can just see the mute and unmute button there.
So, Vani, can you hear us? Can you wave us if you are hearing us? Vani, I think what she needs to do is she needs to leave the studio and then join again, and then make the mic accessible so that we can control the video from her.
Vani, can you hear us?
Okay, so what we can do is while she leaves and she joins again, I'll
Yeah,
give.
I had to have Sasha log out and log back in, and it fixed everything.
I did it. I mean, I put her on the backstage, and I
Fair
just made her leave so
Okay,
she'll join.
just tell her to log out and log back in. Sometimes we have this, and once you do that, it's fixed.
Yeah.
So no worries. So
Nikunj, in
what
the
we can-
meantime, why don't you tell them a little
yeah,
bit about
I'll give the stage directions and we'll start it then. Okay.
but there are places where you're supposed to be on the stage when you're giving stage directions.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
you'll have
okay.
to
I'll
go and
just
double
give
up.
it to start it.
Okay, ठीक है. Let's start with that.
No worries. Okay. So we go on the count of three.
Done.
3, 2, 1. Mary and Jerry are frantically pacing back and forth in the middle of their living room. Something they find traumatic has clearly just taken place.
Oh, Jerry, I'm worried.
I know, Mary, I know. I'm worried too, believe it or not.
But he's just never behaved like this before. It's so unlike him.
What can I say, Mary? We've raised a strong boy, a rebel, a rolling stone. He obeys no man, kneels to no creator.
But to do something like this, something so violent, something so insensitive, so rash, I cannot believe it.
And I'm even sorrier to tell you that it'll probably happen again.
Oh no. Oh, Jerry, if he slams another door in the house, I'll really faint.
Uh, Perhaps it would be best if we give him some alone time.
Or perhaps it'll be better if we talk to him. Show him that we're still there. Tell him that we still love him.
Uh, Drop the act, woman. It's not the end of the world, for Christ's sake. Mary, you gotta keep it together, all right? We need to show a firm hand right now. Jesus, holy fuck! You really put the mother in smother. You know that?
I'm sorry. You'll have to excuse my father. You know, he's one of those types. But to his defense, my mother is no different. I think they both are peculiar. Oh, wait, where are my manners? I'm sorry again. Hi, I'm Azakiel, the teenage son of Jerry and Mary Cook. If you haven't understood what just happened a few seconds ago, allow me to clarify. I just slammed the door on my parents' face for the first time. However, it was their mistake. And what you saw after that was the inevitably ugly aftermath. I couldn't help it. You know, a family is a bit of the volatile combination when we all get together. No, 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 no. You're getting this wrong. We love each other. We care about each other. Really. But it's just like if you put all of us in one room, you might be recreating the scenes from post-time conference. Now, to all of you who don't know what a post-time conference is, it's like having Stalin, Truman, and Churchill in the same room. And now, to those of you who don't know who Stalin, Truman, and Churchill are, please leave. So, where was I? I was saying that it would be better if I give you a bit of the background on these three dynamic cooks. That will help you understand the situation better. So, let's start with Mary Cook. My mother is the sweetest of all. You know, she loves me more than that. It was a childhood dream to have her firstborn as a boy. Somehow, the schoolmates used to laugh on this. I don't know why. While she was growing up, she wanted to be a musician. And unlike many successful musicians, she actually went to a school to study it. But then I happened. So, as it happens, my mom gave up on music and to just raise me full time. And as it happens, it was a good decision because I was a handful. You know, on the contrary, I have a different feeling and a memory where I used to bathe in the washing sink, watching my mom cook and sing.
Moon River, wider than a mile. I'm crossing you in style someday. Oh, dream maker, you heartbreaker.
Now, next,
Wherever you go.
this is Jerry Cook, the eighth of the eight Cook boys. You know, my dad always felt like there has to be a,
Firm hand.
you heard it. Because of this, he's got these quirky rules behind it, how a man should behave, actually to be respected. Such as,
Respected man is he who takes a spoonful of vinegar like it's a glass of water. A respected man is he who walks on rocks and other sharp objects and skin cutting objects barefoot. A respected man is he who depends on no jacket during the winter, for the cold is only felt by the weak. In fact, a respected man is he who is never cold. That's simpler. Maybe I should just say that.
he's also not very smart. He only named me Ezekiel just to impress his religious in-laws, telling them that his favorite passage from Bible was Ezekiel 25:17. Like really, sadly enough, even after watching Pulp Fiction numerous times along with the subtitles, he misspelled my name on the birth certificate. So technically, I'm called Ezekiel. Like, why? But lastly, there's me, Azikiel. Look, I'm no genius. But yes, I do have a photographic memory. Yeah, that has made me actually win the spelling bees 5 times at the national level. It has actually made me learn Spanish and French other than English. You know, these languages actually come handy when my dad actually tries to miseducate the already uneducated family members, like saying things like, adieu in Spanish means goodbye. Why? But most importantly, I remember perfectly every passing second of my life since I met my schoolmate in the algebra class, Georgina Duke.
Georgina Duke, pretty good. She's your typical middle school and picture
You see, despite all the background information that I just gave you on myself and the two who actually birthed and raised me, Georgina Duke is actually the root of the story. Georgina was like no one that I've ever seen. She was angel-like. Her hair flowed like river, and her voice was even prettier than my mom's.
Hi. Hi.
You see, beautiful. And as it turns out, Georgina is a visionary just like me. Because when I confessed my undying love for her behind the school bleachers on the second week anniversary of my having seen her angelic face, she just said,
Georgina and Ezekiel are in front of the bleachers, and Ezekiel is underneath holding a ring pop.
Oh my God, Ezekiel. No man in my life has ever been so romantic with me. Who cares what others might think? I might be a year older than you, but you know what? To hell with society. Age is relative and time is just a number. Now give me that ring pop, you sly devil.
Georgina, as long as you're by my side, you'll have as many ring pops and Capri Sun juice packs as your little heart desires.
Back to Ezekiel's narration.
So, since there was clearly nothing in our work lives that would interfere with our love for each other, and we were clearly prepared to take our relationship to the next level, Georgina and I decided to put our passion and longing for each other to test.
We will wait for our 4 months anniversary.
To finally kiss each other.
Back to Ezekiel's narration.
To little surprise, our love candle's light never dimmed or weakened. On the contrary, it only shined brighter and burned slow as we got to know each other intellectually. For example, we found out that Georgina and I had a lot of same hobbies, which in my eyes only made her more beautiful. The hobbies like
Astronomy, cartography, stamp collection.
playing the board game Risk as competitively as possible, and playing the board game Monopoly as recreationally as possible, watching YouTube videos, and last but not the least, making fun of our parents. Now, as the day grew closer and closer, Georgina and I set some ground rules and expectations to make the occasion picture perfect.
It must be a private location.
And an intimate one as well.
There will be no touching of anything other than the face.
And for sanitation purpose, we'll not do it more than 22 minutes. Agreed?
Agreed.
Are your parents out of town that day?
No, yours?
No. Nevertheless, my parents go to the supermarket every Wednesday, 3 to 4:30. I could tell them that I'll take the bus back home
And we could go to your house
together.
and kiss there.
Yes. Are you comfortable with this?
Yes. Are you?
Yes.
Agreed. Your place, 3 to 4:30.
So, as I told you a while back, the mental breakdown of my parents was that they were having in the beginning at the journey of our space, time, and love was all their fault. For moments before Georgina and I were about to taste each other's sweet, angelic lips, I heard two dreaded calls.
Ezekiel, baby, is that you?
Easy, boy, are you home?
Are those your parents?
I swear, Georgina, they were not meant to be here.
We decided on privacy and intimacy, Ezekiel.
Worry not, my princess. I'll take care of this.
Georgina and Ezekiel. In Ezekiel's bed.
Mother, father, I ask that I shall not be disturbed till the latest hour of supper, for I have gotten my first ever A minus today in school. Please keep your adult shenanigans to the minimum, as I am in dire need of peace and tranquility. That'll be all. Thank you and goodbye. Now you see, if Jerry and Mary would have been at the supermarket as they were supposed to be, I would never have to slam the door on their face. And I would never have to lie to them. I didn't get any A minus or anything. Come on. Me? No. But you know what? You got to risk it at times. Get the biscuit every time. Georgina and Ezekiel kiss, as previously agreed, only touching each other's faces. And they kept kissing happily ever after. The end.
That was so lovely. Bravo.
I'm sorry for the
Thank you.
glitches that even the technical.
Yeah.
I'm feeling helpless.
Technology, don't worry, the story was told lovely. Could not have hit a teenage attitude better. Awesome.
I just tried
You look awesome. You look awesome and how beautiful and lovely. And you guys still went through it, even though we were having technical difficulties. But the storyline is there. Love it. What did you think, Ankit?
No, that's perfectly fine. Our viewers would like to know more about the characters because they said that you haven't introduced them properly. So we have to redo again. And everyone likes the way they are doing it, and everyone is accepting the technical difficulties because they know that there are difficulties, and that is the challenges of life. But this is the new normal.
This is the new. This is
Right.
The way we can and try to improvise and try to optimize the best way we can. And also, viewers would like to know when are we coming up with a Hindi play. So I said I'll ask you.
Can we do this every week?
Yeah.
This is because this is people get into the drama. This is a good story. The attitude of teenagers, the frustrations of parents. How lovely.
And I think we need a round of applause from our viewers and from everyone.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for watching. But also,
Thank you.
so
Nikunj, can you quickly introduce everyone one more time?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I would. We were actually missing the stage for doing that. So
Yeah, we are too used to that, I think.
we'll definitely do.
let's
So,
hand it like I'll bow out.
yeah, so I'll introduce my mom first. Okay, she's on this side. So Kritika Bhatia played Mary Cook.
Thank you. Hi.
And the one you see down there is my on-screen dad, Jerry Cook, Shom Das Gupta.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the one diagonally down there is actually my teenage crush, Georgina.
Hello.
She's Smriti. And Nikunj Vadhavan, I play Ezekiel, who actually gets into all this mess because he has never got a teenage love crush before. So I think we all can relate to it.
Yeah, I think we can all draw on our previous experiences.
Yeah, we can definitely do it. And a special mention, Mary and Jerry were actually just like the mother and father. We just did this in less than 48 hours because we have been just trying and approaching with a clear statement that there should be entertainment to everyone so that they don't step out of their house as long as we have to stay in to stay healthy and to be safe. So please stay home and stay safe.
Yeah, please stay home, stay safe, and keep watching us whenever we come up here.
Exactly.
I hope we'll be invited more often.
You are always invited. You're our family now, right, Ankit? We're all
Thank you.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all
You're always welcome because ours is a web channel with 24/7. If we have a content, we have an audience, and you won't believe we have people are watching you from around the world. It's not
all
about
over
India.
the world. We're getting this is probably the highest volume we've had.
Yeah.
So and this is our symbol for love. So we very much love you. And
Okay. I'll get that.
unifying our worlds, we're unifying our community, right? And namaste. But you know what? This is called true fiction, I'm sure, right? So there's a lot of fiction here because we got real family, real moms, real dads. You know, we got all of this lovely, real love life. And
There's just one little thing I'd like to mention. I mean, usually we're used to doing this on the stage, but there are a lot of gestures, movements, and all of that. So the audience is a lot more engaged. So it was definitely a challenge to kind of stay stuck in a rectangular frame, staring either at our laptops or our phones or whatever it was, and still try to get the feel of the character and the feel of being there. I mean, I actually feel bad for Nikunj. He never really got to kiss the girls. But it is. I think it's a fun challenge, and if we have more opportunities to come up here, then I think we can come up with better ways and more evolved ways of executing stuff like this.
Oh, as you do things like this, you do evolve better ways. It's like when we first started Pod TV. We started this concept a year and a half ago, and believe me, we went through a lot before we found the right platform. So, and now everybody's trying to catch up with us because to do TV from home or because that's all they're all doing it, not at a TV station. We had this foresight over a year ago, so we've been developing this. But you'll find it. But what was lovely was just the reading, your expressions on your faces. We had a talk with 2 film producers in the last 2 weeks, and one of the things that I told them is the old way of doing movies to me was better. Not all of the special effects, but the real impact was a person's eyes.
That's true.
That pause.
That's true. That's very true.
That look, stop, wait, and then execute. And it's that moment that you grab their attention. And I noticed this in musicians. I work with a lot of musicians, and it's the same thing. They know exactly what to hold. And then
exactly.
So you have it. You kept us captivated. I love the way you told the story from your mind. Right? I love that. You had your parents and you go, okay, now here's my story. Love that. Oh my gosh. It's like, I don't know, just like watching a Calvin and Hobbes script, right?
Okay, that's like some serious compliment there.
Yeah.
It's a Calvin and Hobbes.
But to me, you're reading Calvin's mind, right?
Yeah.
That's what you were doing. You were seeing your mind. And I love it. I love it. So, no, I think you guys did great. And I think as you do this more, as Ankit and I have learned from experience, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And it's a lot of fun. Thank you for doing this. What is the one thing, I'm going to ask you guys some questions. It sounds like you guys all do theater quite a bit.
Yeah, we have been associated together for the last 2.5 years.
3.5. time flies, Nikunj.
Wow.
Same.
So that stage is your home in many ways. So that's you've
Yeah.
got to be missing it. So let's kind of turn your home into a stage, get it so that you feel comfortable there as well. I love the storyline about you're not physically touching. One of the things, I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch this yesterday, but we had an interesting doctor on our show, and all of the doctors they all are emphasizing the distancing. But he is a mental doctor as well as a physical physician. And one of the things he said is we need to stop the word social distancing. We need to socialize.
Okay.
Humans need to socialize. So we need to re-engage the people in saying we're socializing. It's okay to socialize. Just keep that physical distance, like you said today. We're gonna, but keep that. And
We just kiss virtually then.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Socialize virtually.
invite all of you to join us this evening if you're up that late on our cafe. We're going to have a
Alexandra's
cafe.
cafe,
Yeah, and so please bring your date, your loved ones, family. Sit around and have whatever your favorite sipping, if it's tea or wine, and just kind of chill out and get that experience. That's what I want.
I'll
that
just
experience
put
of
it
it.
as a you'll get to know what's coming on. So this is about the show.
Yeah,
And,
but get that
keep
theater
hosting the show.
feeling. This is great. I love it. There you go. And I know that it's not easy to
This is
act
so easy.
right. There you go.
I ain't no typical girl. I ain't no typical girl. I ain't no typical. I ain't cheerleading while the boys play ball. I ain't no typical girl. No, I wanna be right there in the middle of it.
There you go, guys. And
Nice. That is really nice.
well, what I'm going to do is applaud you guys for double applaud, because it's not easy to do a play without being that physical touch, in front of each other and reacting.
True, that's true.
I would like to. Ask Rakeshji what's his view on the play.
Yes,
I think
please.
it was very, very well done. It's part of the pleasure of being an actor is to get audience response, and when you don't get that, to still keep going, that takes a lot of talent. That takes a lot of drive, a lot of concentration. And I must applaud all of you. I think you all did it very well. You certainly caught the mood that was in the air. So yeah, keep it up.
Thank you.
I know. It's got to be a challenge to be in a different environment instead of face to face and trying to express your love and your feeling. But we're doing that on the internet, right? We're having to come up with all of these ways to say hello again to our families and everything. So, but I think it's beautiful, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Do you think you'll do this next week, or do you want to think about this? It's hard to write a skit.
Love to.
I mean,
I think I'm speaking for the entire group when I say we'd love to.
okay,
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Parents speak. Parents.
Yeah. I mean, our son might be a rebel, but he listens to the father nonetheless.
Yeah.
I would suggest Nikunj to do a play which has English and Hindi both, so that I think we can have more audience. Because
Sure,
a lot
we
of
can do
people.
that.
Sure.
So if we can do something with an English play, I think that could work really well, and people can understand it. You won't believe we had hosted Jainism Acharya Shastri a couple of days back, and he was talking in Hindi, and everyone is ready to understand because it's coming from the heart. And he's talking basic things about how to get positive and how to be positive during the lockdown. So I think if we can try to reach out to the larger audience with the language, because they just pick the keywords and then they how they understand and everything. Basically. So that
Yeah,
would,
definitely. I did not even mention Vani for that matter. Sorry, she was actually doing the narration and the technical thing didn't work. But she has been doing couple of stories every week. So we even have Hindi stories by Premchand, Sadat Hassan Manto, and all of that can be there for the viewers if they actually want to do that.
and also what we can do is we can let our viewers join us while we do a rehearsal on our IBM TV sometime
Sure.
in midweek for our show, and that would be a great thing for us to understand and how to plan things in a much better way, because we have to overcome the technical difficulties and still how we can improvise ourselves on the digital platform. That should be the objective for to go ahead with these kind of plays regularly.
True. We do that. We do that.
And,
We do
one
that.
of the things I want to add to you is that as you do this more, you'll find the technology will work in your favor. You'll find
Yeah.
tweets. You'll find but we found out that a lot of people are forgiving to this because your phones don't work anyway, and we live in our phones. So
Yeah.
people get cut off during their conversation. And I want to tell you something. When we filmed TV shows, I cannot count the times. And we're right in the middle of an interview, and I learned to do this. This is very hard to do. But we're sitting there, and the director goes, "Cut." Now you have to remember precisely what your last breath word was, what your thought was, where your face was. Your
Yeah.
hold your
Yeah,
breath.
the continuity basically. Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
got to continue as smooth as possible. And I kid you not, Nick and I got really good at this. We not only got good at this, we got good at knowing when he was going to call cut. And it was every time the bus came behind. We were in a courtroom filming one of our series, and every time the bus came by or the church bell rings, they had to cut. And I'm like, just leave them. People will love it. People will get it. No. So in case you not, Nick and I, we would hear the bus like before the director would, and we would just. And it would be just like this technical shot right here, like where you freeze, and it's spinning.
Yeah.
So I think we were preparing for this anyway.
As Ankit said, it's the new way of doing things. So we slowly and gradually get into it, definitely.
True.
Yeah, it's the
Well,
chemistry.
you
Once
guys
you build that chemistry, you can always kind of, get things to work around it.
You guys just warmed me up too, because it's a very cold day here in North Carolina. We've had rain and cold for 2 days, and it just kind of wears you down when you don't get that warm sunshine. And you guys just filled my heart with sunshine today, and I really appreciate it.
Because we got a lot of sunshine today. So.
Yeah, we got a little too much of sunshine today. So, yeah.
Wow.
I think we are sending a little over down to you.
Yeah, you did. You beamed it right up, as Nick said. We call this beaming in and beaming out when people come and go on our show. We Nick beams in and out. He says it's a good show. He watches a lot. He's our executive producer, and so he watches from afar. But he also lets us know, is the sound doing good and things like that. Great team, great acting team. I think you guys could do a skit every week, and we would be good with that. We'll get it. Yes,
Thank you.
I'm thrilled with it.
Thank you so much.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
What does Rakesh think? Rakesh, do you think every week?
And I was thinking if there's a language issue, you can always have subtitles, running across, just like you have your ticker tape there. You can have titles, and that would broaden the appeal to one is English, an international language, and Hindi, the whole of India. And Nepal and Pakistan, all of these places. Mantra would be very popular in Pakistan. So
yeah, true. We can
do Mantra will be very popular in both countries actually. Yeah. Mantra has a very loyal following in that sense.
All the places, yes. So wish you all the very best. I think if you coordinate with Ankit and give him what you want to put on the sticker tape, and you'll have your all the language aspect covered, as well as just do your stuff, have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ankit. It was really great, and thank you to IBM TV. They are actually promoting all this, and we are doing this. I think you have the
We
kids
have to
show
do it
now.
regularly now. We have to keep on doing this thing, and we have to
Yeah,
create
we
it as
Mm,
a.
mm.
there are many theatre practitioners from India who are actually watching this right now. We did share it in our circuit, and there'll be many requests now coming on to you. So there'll be.
Good. So we'll keep on doing the good work whatever way we can, and try to promote good play things converted into a digital play, because I think this is the new normal. I had a word with a lot of people around the world, and they are very afraid about the Broadways and all those plays going around, because I don't know how they can do the social distancing, and all
Yeah.
those arenas have a very squeezy seats basically, so they are like shoulder
Yeah.
to shoulder. So I don't know how
True,
they
true.
will manage it, but I think this could be a good platform, and
I
we just
agree.
have to push this hard and try to win the best way we can, and try to promote it around the world. People are watching us from Africa, from Singapore, from Hong Kong, from Australia, from United States, and from other countries right now. So I think it's a good start, and we can definitely a lot of things to achieve, and I think we can also cover a lot of languages. As Rakesh said, subtitles will definitely work, but if we the emotions come from the language itself. So I believe that if we have a couple of languages, maybe English, Hindi, and something else, or maybe we can have artists from around the world and then do it. That will also work.
True.
So
True. True.
fingers crossed. Looking forward for the best show possible, and let's see how it goes. And thanks for the team joining us
Thank you
today.
so
Thank you
much.
so
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We
Thank you for
have
having
a
us
kids
here.
show
Thank
right
you.
now.
Thank you.
Right after this, a lot of kids are joining us from around the world. We have
Sure.
invited some of them, so let's see how it goes, and we'll take it from there. Thank you.
Sure.
Once
All the
again,
Thank
best.
you.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
take care.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Wow, that was rocking good. I love it. I love theater. So anything that we do that is theater related is a joy. And we've got our children's corner coming up. Amazing. Hi. So I got my they're running late. They're on their way. Another friend that I want to introduce you to. So how are you doing today?
Good.
Oh, so I see. What have you got behind you?
Behind you. That's her name.
I love it. Wow. Is that a chalkboard?
Yep. Yes, yep.
Oh,
I prefer to just read me.
oh, look, and you look so lovely today.
I just dress up now because this is a frozen dress.
Yes.
Beautiful, but not as beautiful as you.
I like the Frozen movie.
You
That's very
do. Can you sing some of the songs?
what?
What? Can you sing some of the songs? What's your favorite? What's your favorite part of the movie?
Do you want to listen? Yes, I know about. This is my favorite song about the Frozen, and everything's my Frozen thing. You enjoy.
She likes Frozen like guy like Minions.
You enjoy singing. Do you want to build a snowman? I enjoy to just make a snowman or sing it.
I love the snowman too. I love him. I got a little. I'll go get him for the next show. Frozen. So, are you watching Frozen movies a lot?
Yes. How many have you watched? I just saw today now on my own just.
Oh, okay, that's good. So I would my son, he had his favorite movie, and he would watch it over and over. And over. How? So do you? What else do you like besides Frozen?
Frozen dresses. Like, which character do you like? I like the other than Frozen, Amishi.
Isha, what about Peppa Pig? What about Peppa Pig, and what about Unicorns.
Unicorns are my favorite. Just
And Misha, how are you? How are you protecting yourself from coronavirus? What do you do?
I always stay in my home and
Okay.
I wash my hands all day. When I sneeze on my arms.
Okay. And then you clean your arms.
Yes, I clean my arms all.
And why everyone is at home today, Misha? Why everyone is at home right now?
Because of corona.
You know, but you
And
know
when is
what?
coronavirus going on? When it will go out?
Then very long time.
You are absolutely right. It must feel like years to that little monkey girl. So let's talk about. Does it feel like a long time that you've been home?
Have you been at home for a long time?
No.
No.
Yes. We long time in corona. We long time in corona.
So, what do you do when you're not at home before Corona? What were you doing?
I just go to school and play with my dad.
Wow. So, do you miss school?
What?
Do you miss your school and your friends?
Yes, but I'm going to a new school now.
Oh, it's at home, I bet, right?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, Luna. Can you see us? Hello,
I'm trying to-
Luna. She'll get on in just a minute. Sometimes it takes a while for the Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi is working really good, Ankit.
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
So, Amishi, I would like for you to meet my niece, Luna.
Hi.
Can you say hi, Luna, or are you going shy on me?
Hello.
Waving sweetly.
Hi. Wow.
Hi.
Where's my chatterbox? So, Luna, share with us what you're doing different since Corona started.
Not going to school.
Does it feel like a long time?
Yes.
How are you washing your hands, Luna? Do you wash your hands?
Do you wash your hands every day? Or new Corona?
Just
Yeah.
speak up.
She's very shy. Amisha gets on with me every day almost. She'll sit after the show and we talk, so she's comfortable. So Amisha's been sharing with us that she's not going to school right now with her friends, but she's going to school at home, right, Amisha?
Yes.
Yes. So her favorite movie is Frozen. What's your favorite? What's your
Yes,
favorite?
Amity, you want to say something?
Go ahead, Amishi.
If you
Say something, baby.
Go ahead, say something, Amishi.
Saluna, do you wash your hands because of corona?
She's asking to Luna actually.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah.
Tell her you always wash your hands
What does she like?
and you
Does she
sing a
like
song.
to read books? Or she like to watch?
I sing a song. When I wash my hands at my school, I sing a song.
Wow. Which song? Can you sing the song right now?
With us?
Okay, share.
Okay.
Can you share? What do we sing?
Tops and bottoms, in between, rub 'em all together, now they're clean,
Very good.
I like that. Tops and bottoms. Tops.
And that's all things.
What, Amishi?
What do you think?
I think lots of I think about washing hands and everything about my boys.
Throwing the mask and gloves and scrub.
What I'll do is I'll play Amishi social mana video so that she'll charge up after watching that video.
So Luna, what are some of the things that you think Corona has changed our lives? Okay, Michi. Luna, has Corona changed your lives?
We cannot touch stuff. My also not.
Yours changed a lot? Yeah. So what would you tell the world for what's important right now? What's very important?
I'm not sure I understand.
Uh-oh. Alexa's on.
Papa comes. I saw this video on my tablet, and it says when you sneeze, you can dab.
Yeah, you do this. That's right. And Mishi was sharing us. Yes. Yeah, you see.
I'll play the video. She'll get to know.
हैंड होकर और ऐसे अपने खांसी जब आएगी तो ऐसे करेंगे अच्छू अच्छू और कोरोना वायरस को धन्यवाद हमारा म्यूजिक सुनने का.
See? That's funny. We need to get Luna to do one.
Yeah,
We need to get Luna to make us a video.
Yeah.
Oh, look. So,
Tell them about people should not throw their mask on the floor or their gloves.
People should not throw their mask or gloves on the ground.
they do.
Yes.
They shouldn't.
Put sanitizer also on your hands.
You have to wash your hands. Wear a mask. Do we wear masks when we go?
Yes, yes, yes.
1, 2.
I don't really have a mask.
That's right. We all have.
We're going to make one. And he wears gloves because he needs to stay careful.
What is something that you want to do that you when Corona, when you could go out and do something?
What do you want to buy?
I want to buy a frozen toy and slime.
And Slimy
What
Sam.
about you, Luna?
Slimy Sam. Luna, do you know who Slimy Sam is?
I want that.
You watched that?
What are the things you're gonna do when this coronavirus stops?
I want that, Sammy. Celebrate. When coronavirus stops. It's so funny. Yeah.
Can we go eat lunch? We'll go eat lunch and get ice cream. Go eat lunch and eat ice cream.
I bugs me so much.
Ah,
You
frozen.
People, you can FaceTime them. Hold
You can FaceTime them. That's right. So, Do they let you guys, Amishi, do they let you talk to your friends at school on computer?
I don't really have my friends and for money.
I don't have call. What do they? Mama and Dad don't have call.
Busted. She's making faces. So, all right. So Luna's grandma's birthday's today.
Ah,
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to grandma, right?
happy birthday.
Happy
Daddy.
My grandma's 68.
How old?
Luna, what's your name of your father and what's your name of your mother?
Dale.
Iris.
What's your mama's name and your daddy's name? Dale. She knows. She's being silly. Come on. Nana.
Okay.
They warm up to this. Yeah, if they do this again, we'll have them doing panel talks and we won't have to do anything. Because eventually you guys got to solve the world's problems.
Yeah.
You're our future
We
leader.
are the global kids, and we have to bring them up like a global citizen so that they should know what's going around. And right now, what's happened is that whatever happens in US, it will affect in India and vice versa in Hong Kong. So they have to be trained like that.
We need to start letting our children globally understand that they're not alone. That this is not just our community. It is every. Luna, you know that Amishi is from India.
You know
Amishi
where
is
India
from
is,
India.
Luna? You know where India is? It's on the other side of the world.
We'll have to pull up a world map. And,
So I'll tell you how I explain Amishi. Luna is where the sun is right now, and we have a moon in our country.
right. So we have a moon and a
That's
sun.
right.
So we know where the sun is.
I know about everything.
Yes. And you know, Luna, her family is from Puerto Rico.
Her
But
brother who's an American.
yeah, she's an American. Yes. And you're from India. Both of you speak 2 languages. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Luna, do you speak Spanish?
¿Qué pasa, Luna?
Got a smile out of her.
Buenos días.
¿Cómo está?
¿Cómo está?
Chicos. ¿Mucho trabajo? ¿Mucho trabajo?
No.
¿No?
You know,
Lovely, lovely.
oh no, she's gonna make it faces. She talks my ears off when she'll call me on FaceTime, and we talk nonstop. She's doing so. Share with us, both of you girls. What do you do during what we call lockdown? We're all at home. What are you doing most of the time?
What do you do most of the time?
Most of the time I do work.
What work do you do?
I read books. And I read numbers.
Read numbers.
And just clapping. I just.
On TV.
I watch a lot of TV shows.
Yeah, we're making faces.
And some.
You know what? That's kind of like our politicians right now. So Luna, what are you doing now that you're home? What do you do most of the time?
Paint.
Yes, you do, don't you? You paint a lot. Are you reading?
Yes.
Yes. Can you share what you're reading? Oh, you gotta go get the book.
She's gonna go get it.
So, Amishi, can you share what you're reading? What book are you reading?
I read. What are you doing? Doing hurt. Wait.
Oh, right. What is that? The purple
Unicorn.
unicorn. I should have known.
color
And
of
at
the
the
book.
end,
And that's a Peppa Pig.
first
What is
she's
your favorite
purple.
book cartoon?
First the unicorn is purple. Then the unicorn is rainbowed.
Oh Lordy. Do you like unicorns, Amishi?
Yes, I do. And I also like princesses.
Princesses. Luna, do you like?
It's for a very long time.
Oh, she made a rainbow photo. Look, she made a rainbow picture.
I thought I was gonna sneeze.
For you.
No. Eh?
These are rainbow pictures.
What?
Nobody can see that properly.
Where'd they go?
Look, that is my picture. And this is just a girl who's very grumpy.
Everyone's saying,
I can't pick up.
your school.
I call grumpy so that.
What are some good things that we can do while we're at home that you would like to share to other children your age?
Oh, you age. My age is just 4. My age is 4.
I'm 4.
Luna, I know your age.
What's her age, Amishi?
Huh?
What's Luna's age? Do you know how old Luna is?
Yeah. No?
How old is she?
My mom is just 2.
So I think we've got a great.
That's what Papa is asking. How old is Luna? Papa told you, not nice to know.
Yes.
So you need to check.
I really want to read the book.
So Luna, when is your birthday?
July 1st.
July 1st? Would you invite us on your birthday?
Yes. We'll have a big birthday party. So when Luna was born, that night we went to the hospital and the moon was pink.
Oh.
It was the night of the red moon. And it's a very, very rare moment. So when we walked out of the hospital, here's this big pink moon hanging in the sky. And so she was called Luna Bella. So, which means moon.
Yeah.
And, but I thought that was neat. But Luna, are you getting ready for your birthday? Most kids plan months ahead of time.
Yeah.
I'm having a mermaid birthday.
A mermaid?
And my
Okay.
birthday is going to be at the pool.
If we get the pool open.
Luna, my birthday is to
February, yes. What kind of birthday party did you have?
I have 2 birthday parties now.
You poor kid.
One with cousins and one with friends.
There you go. 2.
2 parties with cousins.
And princesses. We got princesses. So Luna, what's your favorite movie?
This
My favorite movie?
This is my card. This is my favorite book. I read it all the time now.
I love little handbooks.
Luna, what's your favorite kids song?
My favorite is.
That's okay. What's your favorite, Amishi?
Okay. What's your favorite, Amishi?
My favorite is Joining.
The song.
Tell them. They're asking you.
Joining tries to eat bites. Friends are going into deep dives. Yes, I make lots of songs. Nasreen's on the swing tree track. They climb on the web.
Do they make up their own songs too?
They're very creative.
I changed my mind from the back. They jump. Sing out.
What did you change your mind about, Luna?
I changed my mind. I
What?
changed my mind from what I wanted to be when I grew up. I want to be a singer.
Uh-oh, so you're not going to be a dancer? You're not going to be a dancer? A singer and a dancer. Okay. So Luna has all kinds of music stuff. She likes music. So
That's nice.
I also.
do you like this? Do you like music?
Yes. I always like Frozen songs and princess songs and spider songs.
In spite. Okay.
What
What?
song do you know?
What song you know, Luna?
My favorite. All of JoJo's songs.
JoJo. Who's JoJo? Oh, okay.
My favorite was black and frozen white spiders flying on the webs, jumping on them. La la la, we like spiders. They eat buzzy, 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 buzz.
We like bugs. So I got a question. What is the one thing you're doing
But
right
I
now?
like spiders.
Do you do anything right now that drives your mommy and daddy crazy?
Luna, do you like the Baby Shark song?
Yes, I like. Baby,
Should I play the song?
they eat bad people. My most favorite songs are Baby Shark and
I'll play that song for you right now.
Shark kind of songs and Judge S.C.Y. songs.
Wow, that's nice.
And she's a Star Wars fan. She loves Star Wars.
Do you like this one, Luna?
Do you know that?
I'll play
Like
for
the
you.
Pink Fong one.
Baby Shark.
What happened?
What happened to the music? Baby Shark, Shark, Shark.
I like Baby Sharks. They eat bad people.
All right.
Every time when I do Grandpa Shark, it kind of hurts my knuckles a little bit.
It does? How do you do Grandpa Shark?
You do a fist and then you just go. And then
Okay. And that hurts your knuckles?
Yeah.
Grandpa Shark?
Ow, 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 ow. Grandpa Sharks are dangerous.
All right. I never understand these cartoons that make friends out of sharks. I just don't get it. Do you think sharks are fun? So confident. Yeah. I didn't know this was popular.
Yeah, this is popular. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why I've said these are global kids basically, and they know what's going on around the world. through
Yeah, all
YouTube.
kids. They know, right? All the kids know all of these fun things. Frozen, they know Frozen. That's right. And we're all lots of love. Hey, Luna, can you share? These are our sign language. Do you want to learn them? So we do this for love. So this is how we hug now. We do this. So we don't because of Corona, we don't hug anymore. We share our love like this. This is our community sign language. We're globally connected.
This is how I do it.
There you go.
Wow, that's nice.
That's a good one. I like that. I like that.
You
Hug.
hug yourself.
There you go. Hug yourself. Send your love.
Papa.
Spot. Can we also? So, what's your favorite movie?
That means love in sign language. Love.
Yes.
Sign language. This means love.
Dile sign language así. That means love.
I love you. In sign language, that means I love you.
And like kiss your fingers. And
There you go.
then,
There you go.
and then you go. And then you.
All right. Okay. So I'm learning
And
some.
you know what is this?
I don't know. What is that?
That's a bird.
That's a bird. Okay. That's a bird. Oh, I love it. That's a bird. He's got birds. Hummingbird. It looks like a hummingbird.
Yeah.
There you go. Butterflies. Can we do butterflies?
Yeah.
This is a butterfly, right? Butterfly. Can we do fun? Wings. We got wings. Yeah. You know what we had to do is have a shadow party one day. So
Yeah.
and see what we can make shadows on. Do you guys want to come back next week?
This is
Yeah.
Next week we'll be a little more prepared, right, Luna?
Luna and them are painting their house. So
Yeah, we're painting.
yes. Oh my goodness, she looks so tired. Anyway, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Is there a special message you girls want to give everyone about Corona? Do you want to share the world about Corona?
Stay home and do not touch your face. Bye. Your eyes
Stay
are
home. That's right. And don't touch your face. Stay home and don't touch your face. There you guys have it. Some of the world's smartest people right here. Stay at
Yeah.
home. Don't touch your face. Bravo. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining
Luna's
us.
ready to
We'll
tell you
see you tomorrow
not
soon.
to touch.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mishi.
Oh my gosh. Bye.
Bye. Wow, was that fun? Did we lose Rakesh? Too much excitement. Namaste. Welcome. So do you have children?
Yeah. I have two girls.
How old are they?
Two girls. But one is already doing her post-graduation in medicine, Ayurveda. The second one is in 8th standard.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just enjoying the kids and how natural they are, how expressing their very, very lovingly expressing everything to the world. Actually, we should learn from them.
We should. That's why we wanted to, because
Yeah.
this has impacted their life.
They are out of what's going on around the world. They are not aware. They are just
Yes, they are in their own world, very innocent, very straightforward, very sincere, and expressing their feelings, which is we have to learn.
There are no if, no buts, basically. No if, no buts, and no filters.
Yeah.
No filters. No censors, no filters, no gag orders. You know, when I go to a press conference, sometimes we're told what we but this is the truth from children.
Yeah.
I mean, from children, this is we hear and see from them how we're behaving.
Yeah.
What I tell people, if you watch your children, you'll see how you are.
Yeah. It's quite natural because we are actually making them, behave like this way, that way, this thing, and all. They learn. Otherwise, they are growing very naturally. Natural way of growing.
And you know what I find funny, and Ankit and I talk about this, is it doesn't matter what part of the world they're from. All the kids love the same cartoons, the
Very
same
true.
movies.
Very
I
true.
mean, it's so funny. It's just because we were comparing, and I showed him my niece's pictures, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we know that. I don't even know that. My
Yes,
kids are grown. My kids are gone." I'm like, when that was over, that was over.
Yes,
I was
very
ready to move on to that next level.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while you can. But so you got one in grad school in med? Your one daughter, she's in med school?
Yeah, I have one daughter studying in school now. Another is in college, doing her post-graduation in Ayurveda medicine, psychiatry. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, they are all they are doing fine, and they have very, very good.
She's studying in which college?
Pardon?
She's studying in which college? Learning Ayurveda?
Kottakkal Ayurveda College. She has completed her degree, BAMS, and got married. I have a son-in-law also, first. And then she is now doing her PG in Manasigam, that is psychiatry in Ayurveda.
Okay.
Yeah, and the second one, they have 14 years difference. So she is in 8th standard.
14. So that gave you time to plan for college.
Yeah. First one is in college. First one is almost like a mother to the second one.
Right. Wow. Different. My sister and I were 10 years apart, and I was like a mother to her. She always said that I was like a mother to her. So
Yes.
So yeah,
they have fights also. They fight each other, but they enjoy the company.
It's human nature, right? Siblings are gonna fight, play. We had a psychiatrist, a doctor, but also in psychiatry as well as regular family medicine.
Yeah.
And he has this theory of if your kids are fighting, you tell them to keep fighting. But Dad, we don't want to. Stop. No, keep fighting. Please beat each other up. But Dad, we love each other.
It is natural. It is natural, actually.
But his theory is you tell them exactly opposite. They do. So his thing is about this social distancing. Stop social distancing. Stop it now. Just physical distance, right? Go ahead and socialize.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead and socialize. But
so we should enjoy that.
Right.
We should actually, nowadays, this corona has given us time for enjoying all these things. I'm actually thankful in that way, because otherwise we are all busy. We have nothing. I was just discovering that I'm watering my plants every day morning now, and I'm finding that it is flowering like anything and giving me more flowers, bunches of flowers now. And like that, the daughters also, they are with me. So they are fighting, they are making fun of me and all, but we are enjoying it. Thanks for Corona for that.
Right. It definitely has changed the way we communicate, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. And your plants are thriving. Thanks to Corona, his plants are thriving.
Yeah. Otherwise, we will miss all these things.
You know, it has changed so many people. We were talking about it in a joking way this morning that the murder rates in Miami, which is known for murders, the murder rates are down to 0.
Yeah.
No more murders in 7. No more murders.
Very true.
COVID's up, murders down, but
yeah.
But now we're communicating different. We are growing things, starting gardens. I hear people talking about starting gardens, painting houses. Kids are having to learn to socialize a different way.
Yeah,
right?
How to socialize in you. I think because the Indian way of telling hello with both the hands together, say hello with a bowing forward and showing our humility and
That's
love,
all. That's
because it is towards the heart. So we are showing our affection and love and say hello.
wow. And
Yeah. That is
very
what.
humble, like you said. I always feel like I'm giving you a blessing
Yeah.
whenever I meet people, and if I do this, I feel like I'm blessing. Saying I'm
Bless.
praying for you
Yeah.
for a blessed day, and I think humbleness is the way we're going to get through this. We talk about, everybody's scared of the economy and everything, but the only way we're going to be able to re-enter is to be humble, to be respectful of others, and
Yeah.
make sure we don't make other people sick, because you
Yeah.
could be sick and not know it. And we have to be reserved. You could have said it any better. Humble. We have to be humble.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That
think
is
we
how
have,
that is what Ayurveda also discusses.
Go
Yeah.
ahead,
Tell
Ankit.
me, please.
and I think we have,
No.
forgot about the easy words in life: kind, humble, courage, and
Yeah.
sharing and caring. And we are talking about the difficult word, which is, that's for the way of life. Because if you are using, or if you are not matching up with other people around the world, so you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
And if we keep simple, and if we keep honest with ourselves, I think we have a good life ahead. And that's why, I
Yeah. Yeah.
wanted Dr. Ramesh to be on our show discussing how Ayurveda can change your life, and how we can adapt Ayurveda as a life
Yeah.
skill, because I think it's very natural. If I say Ayurveda, it's very
Yeah.
natural. So I would like Dr. Ramesh to elaborate more about Ayurveda, because I personally want
Yeah.
people to know what is Ayurveda, and how we can
Ah,
spread Ayurveda across the world, so that people will get benefit out of it.
Yes,
yeah.
please share with the world, because we need this. We need some guidance, and guidance in our hearts and in our minds and in our spirit. So absolutely share with us.
Yeah. This is actually, I would like to make 4 points where Ayurveda very, very, very seriously discusses about ethics in life. And so we are all talking about life skills now. And in a competitive world, everybody is teaching their children how to be more successful. But successful in what sense? That is very, very important, because we are thinking that the position, we have to have a good position in the society, and we have to have money, and we have to have the commanding power. This is what is we call success. And that has led, I think that it's a wrong way of educating children. And and the world has become so selfish and so business minded. Everything is business now, even the medicine. Also, everybody starts a hospital or a school education institute. There was a divinity earlier in that, because we are actually helping the our humanity, our friends, our but that concept has completely gone away from the society, and everything is business. You look everything in terms of money, how much you gain in terms of money, how much you earn in terms of power. This is what has ruled the world till date. I think post COVID, the scenario is at least changing all over the world, at least in some institutions will be, because once everything becomes normal, everybody start thinking the old way what we were doing, all these things, exploiting the mother earth. Because we should understand that earth is not simply for human beings alone. That is the reason that now the nature has pushed the reset button, and everything, the pollution came down, water became more pure, air became more pure, and we are breathing normally now. And all the natural creatures who are afraid of our we human beings have started coming back to the nature. And all the plants, deforestation, so many things, name it, everywhere human touch, exploitation of nature. Whereas Ayurveda discusses about how to live in tune with nature. See, So this is absolutely essential to teach our children and the next generation also. I remember a very important wording which I've read from US actually when we were entering into rock gardens in Tennessee. There was a board in front of the park telling that you have to live in this world as if you have borrowed it from your next generation, which is very not live in this world as if you have this land, you chase this land, or you have got it from your parents. So don't behave like that. You have to live in this world as if you have borrowed it from the next generation. So if it is like that, if we are all living in that way, what will happen? We will, everything will be moderately used. We will never exploit it. We will keep everything ready for our next generation. The water, the purity of water, purity of air, purity of everything what we have, we will give it to our next generation, our children. And this is what Ayurveda always discusses about. And if you think about the skills, I would prefer you to make 4 points because I don't want to get you bored about my preach and all. But at the same time, there are actually, in terms of health, because the skills of other communication, skill of how to make friends, how to live in this world, so many things are there which is available. The material is available everywhere. But Ayurveda discusses mainly about 4 points I would like to mention here and end my speech. The first thing is actually there are modifiable and non-modifiable factors in our life, which is very true. You are from wherever from you are in this globe, whether you are male or female, there are 4 factors. The non-modifiable factors are our age, our sex, our hereditary factors. So these things we cannot change. These 3 things are there in our it is inbuilt. It is a actually default in it is there. So you cannot change these things. What you can change is only your habits change. So when you do these things, when you change your mind, when you change your lifestyle, when you change your diet habits, a lot of things changes. The environment changes because otherwise the environment is not changing because you are thinking the same way wherever, even if you are in Australia or in US or in India, wherever you are, your thought process is the same way. So your environment is not changing, but the way you look at, the way you, that is where I was enjoying the children's discussion very wholeheartedly. I was just enjoying that because they are so innocently discussing everything and teaching us how to behave. So there is a balanced life. We should have a very namaste sir. We should have a balanced life. This is what Ayurveda always discusses about. So this balanced life, that means age gracefully. This is what they always tell: age gracefully. You can enjoy everything, but not at the cost of your health. Not at the cost of your health. You can enjoy everything moderately, but no exaggeration. Even nature also is you take it. And don't destroy it, because if you pluck a flower, if you cut a branch of a tree, if you take a part of a tree, don't destroy the nature. This is what Ayurveda says, and live in accordance with the changes that happens in the nature, because Ayurveda believes that we all are a part of the universe. So it is a microcosm of the macrocosm. That is the basic principle of Ayurveda. So that is why when a season changes from cold season to hot season, or to another season, that changes happen inside our body also, and we respond to that. For that, actually, the seasonal Ritucharya is recommended in Ayurveda to keep up the health. And same way in Dinacharya also. But I am discussing about something else, ethics and that part. So there is a beautiful shloka in Ayurveda which gives you a guidance in your life. It's a 2-line shloka, which is, I think, that very relevant in this present scenario. It is Sukhartha Sarva Bhutanam Mata Sarva Pravrittaya Sukham Chana Vina Dharmad Tasma Dharma Paro Bhavet. I will explain it. Sukhartha Sarvabhudanam. Sarvabhudanam, all living being want sukha. Sukha means comfort. Everybody does everything for their own comfort. That is the first line means. Dharmada vina sukham nacha. If you don't do the justified thing or the right thing, you don't get sukha. You think that you are getting sukha, but it is not sukha. You will end up with some other trouble. That means if you are exploiting the Mother Earth, I am giving you an example. It is for your sukha you are doing, it is for your comfort you are doing. But if you are over exploiting it, if you are polluting your river, if you are polluting the environment, you are the person, you are putting pesticides in your crops, it will come back to you. So it is not sukha, it is not comfort. So what we need to do that whatever you do, so sukhartha sarva bhutanam mata sarva pravrtaya sukham chanda vina dharmat. If you don't do the justified things, tasma dharma paro bhavet. So it advises all of us to do only justified things in the world for your sukha, for your permanent sukha. If you don't do that, you are not going to have sukha. And in another worldly meaning, if you see, what is sukha? How do you want the world to behave? You want the world to behave properly. You need respect, you need love. Everybody want to respect you, love you. This is what you want. What this say, give that same behavior to others also. If you do that, it will reciprocate. This is what simply it says. And finally, so this is a beautiful shloka in Ayurveda. In a nutshell, it gives you be right in your duties and give only love and respect to others and to the world. Then the world will behave the same way to you and you will be comfortable always. This is what very simple. At the same time, it finally concludes a chapter telling that how can we keep ourselves healthy. It actually, Ayurveda discusses both about mind and body together always, because what it says that if your mind is sick, your body also becomes sick, and if your body is sick, your mind also will be having that sickness, because there is an inseparable link between the body and mind, just like a ghee put in a vessel. So if you put hot ghee, if the ghee represent your mind and the vessel represent your body, if you put hot ghee inside the vessel get heated, and if you heat the pot, the ghee gets melts inside. This is the inseparable link, what we call psychosomatic approach. This right from the beginning, Ayurveda discusses about the psychosomatic approach. So here, finally, when they conclude how to live a healthy life, they again tell in a nutshell, Nityam hitahara vihara sevi, samikshakari vishayeshwasakta, data sama satyaprakshma. Roga. The meaning in it is simple. Nityam hitahara vihara sevi. Every day, your diet should be wholesome, but don't overeat. Take it for your appetite, and with all sorts of tastes, you can have your food, enjoying it. And Hidahara Vihara Sevi. Don't overindulge in anything. Because if you're watching television, watch it for the purpose, but don't overdo that. And if you are doing everything, don't overdo things. Because overdoing anything can create, that is the problem, because you can have back problem, cervical problem. We are overdoing. We are sitting in front of our computer, sitting in front of our table 16 hours a day, 18 hours a day, and we complain about our backs. We are overdoing things. So, uh, I was discussing about Nityam Hitahara Vihara Sevi. Do everything in moderate way with keeping your health. Vihara Sevi. Samikshakari Visheshwasakta. Because don't get attached to everything. Because if you are eating, overeating, and this attachment, if you are indulging in liquor, it's overdoing. In sex, overdoing. Everything, or the wrong way of doing things. So you have to have a control on yourself and have a good life. Enjoy everything, but not at the cost of your health. This is what they're telling. So Nityam Hidahar Vihar Seri Samikshakari Visheshwasakta Data, be patient, be benevolent, give your this thing to everything, share everything with others. Uh, uh, Data, Sama, have an equal view to everybody. Don't have, because I have a balanced way of seeing things. I have a balanced way of behaving. Everything in a controlled way. We do that. Data Satyapara Kshamavan. Be patient. Intolerance is another area where we need to learn a lot. Because everybody, your creatures along the living beings other than human beings around you, they have their own way of doing things. So be tolerant. And to the other people, the servants who serve you, or the employees you serve you, or the friends you serve you, be tolerant. Everybody is not perfect, so they may be doing wrong things, but you have to be tolerant. You have to have patience to accept these things. And aptopasevicha bhavatyaruk, and respect people who do good things, justifiable things, good deeds and all. So if you practice all these things in your life, he becomes a healthy person. So they are discussing about mind and body together, how to have a healthy life. This is a kind of life skill that we need to develop, that we need to educate our children, and let the world becomes a beautiful place to live for our next generation. Because I'm a 57-year-old person, and so our life after some time, it is going to end, and the next generation has to live here with good air, the basic things, good air, good water, and good food. Forget about other things, good job and such things. Let us forget about such things. But at least the basic needs of our life need to be preserved by our generation. And Corona has given us a shock, telling that you human beings are such a silly creatures. You cannot find me. Yeah, I'm a very small, tiny thing. You cannot find you with your eyes and all, but I can stop the world. I can stop the world. It very clearly tells you a message that actually rethink your button, rethink your, basic human nature and basic life is very simple actually. We are making it very complicated. and we are making it very complicated, and our children and our family, whole people are getting polluted with these kind of polluted thoughts. So this kind of thought process, let us begin after this COVID epidemic be over, and that is how we are going to live with a new message in our life. This is what in a nutshell I have to tell you. I hope that's all.
Well said, sir, well said. So
Yeah,
I'll start with three questions because I think we need to also address the viewers who don't understand the slokas and the language in between
yeah,
what we have used. So
yeah,
the first question is people are very hesitant to to adapt Ayurveda because for them Ayurveda is like a macro thing. So how
yeah,
can they adapt on day-to-day basis and learn about Ayurveda over a period of time? Because no one can learn or no one can accept Ayurveda in maybe a couple of days. So
yeah,
it should be a
yeah,
journey which they have to live for a long period of time. Then only they can do it. And
yeah,
this question is not for people outside India. This question is for Indians as well. We know about Ayurveda, but we are not following the way you know what I'm talking about. They are not
yeah,
following the way it should.
yeah.
So how do we protect Ayurveda and how we should keep that Ayurveda in our life skills and follow it on a day-to-day basis?
It is not very difficult according to me, because I earlier, because you just imagine, because of the industrial development what we have achieved. I'm not telling that it is a wrong thing, it is a, we all enjoy that.
Yeah.
In my childhood, I will give you an example. In my childhood, we used to brush our teeth. I'm talking starting a day, brush our teeth with a husk of paddy, which is natural and biodegradable. And we use the tongue cleaner as the coconut palms inner stem, or mango tree leaves, which is a very natural thing, biodegradable thing. We are not using plastics. And second thing, you have a pond, you can have a bath there, and afterwards you come and have your breakfast, which is made up of the food grown around you, because all vegetables are grown in your backyards, and only rice and such things are but now everything is packed. We have a this thing called packed, so everything packed, you to get it from the shop, microwave it and use it, and use preservatives which are for preserving the food, and artificial colors, artificial flavors, everything. And even the milk what we use earlier, the cows used to graze around, they come back in the evening, natural milk is taken and it is consumed. Whereas now they are kept in artificial environment, hormones are injected to get maximum milk, then it is processed, and antibiotics are added to preserve it, and that kind of white colored fluid is we are getting in packets telling that this is milk. And so naturally we are ruining our immunity and all, but I don't know how to stop all these things. But at least if you know all these things, at least we can go back to nature whatever way it is possible. Because for example, instead of taking a sabji or a curry or a prepared, already prepared and kept it in freezer, reheating, that we can avoid. We can make fresh sabji at home. And fruits, if you have this thing, you can have natural seasonal fruits, you can always use seasonal fruits, because our so I'm talking about practical things. So and have exercise, regular exercise. Ayurveda discusses, modern medicine also discusses. Nobody has time. Our children in our young age, we used to go to swimming in the ponds, and we used to play outside games. Whereas nowadays our children are munching these bakery items and sitting in front of TV and computer, and taking artificially flavored drinks. And I was surprised when I was in Delhi. Juvenile diabetes, youngsters, young children were getting diabetic very much because of this kind of lifestyle and full of stress. Now nuclear family in India. Earlier it was joint family. I have born and brought up in a joint family where my aunts, so many people in the family. So if my mother and father are not there, others will take care of me. I learned the art of sharing with my cousins and friends, which is not there everywhere. Nuclear family, and if somebody gets sick, nobody is there to look after you. So you are afraid, you are stressed. So overstressed and such things. But I don't think that we can completely go back. But at least be natural. You can use natural things for your brushing of teeth. You can have natural food, and teach your children also. That is better than. I still remember, I'm just sharing it for you. When I was in Delhi, one of my patient was a 12-year-old boy who whose father parents are working in some NGOs or multinational company. They have no time to look after their child, so the servants were looking after the child. Servant gave them, and this guy want to have every day artificially made pizza, burger, Coca-Cola, these kind of things only. No homemade food. And at the age of 12, he started bleeding from rectum. And when they examined, it was diagnosed to be ulcerative colitis, which is the colon was inflamed. And after 6 months, because they had to give modern medicine treatment also, like steroids and all, and I gave Ayurvedic medicines also, and within a 6 months of time, his diet pattern we have completely changed. And with this medicine, the bleeding completely stopped, and boy started behaving normally. And but before that, this is what is happening in many of the families when you depend upon this modern lifestyle alone, without exercises, all artificial. So this is a natural thing. Come back to this thing. And second thing, exercise is very very important, because ask your children to have, because everywhere there are parks. Let them go and play and come back. Let them have fight with their friends and all. It's a natural human things. And come back, and they let them learn the technique of sharing, because our children don't know how to share. They are selfish, so selfish, and they don't want to share anything with others, and that make them sick. Because if somebody takes away something or borrows one of the thing from them, they become so tensed, and they want everything for their use only. So this kind of qualities we can develop. So this is Ayurveda. I'm talking about Ayurveda, one thing. And second aspect is that how Ayurveda now, I think that actually I'm talking about in Kerala tradition, we are using 97% of our medicines are purely herbal. Herbal in the sense ginger, garlic, this cumin seeds, asafoetida. I mean, these things are actually from our kitchen. It is from the childhood onwards. We all are using that. But other than that, there are certain things which herbs recommended in Ayurveda, which is now this avala or something like that. I'm not telling that everything is safe. There are medicines which are little poisonous, which can be used as medicine alone, only under doctors' supervision only you can prescribe these things. So these are natural things. So if you depend upon these kind of things, like morning you are taking natural tea is all right, no issue. But don't use food which is already prepared and reheated food in the fridge, because cook if possible. Everybody is busy, but take time for cooking, because it is for your health. It is for your health, because cooking everything for 1 week, keeping it in the freezer, reheating it, using it every day, the whole family is using it, you are ruining your health. You are ruining your immune system. So at least we should give, it's an investment, because just like we are investing money, we are investing on our health. by doing all these things. So this is what I have to tell you. I'm talking about practical thing. I'm not talking about and Ayurveda discusses about doing everything moderately. So whatever you do, if you are if you are a computer professional, you may not be able to. But right now, you are doing the TV shows, sitting long hours. But but take some break and have relaxation and come back again. This is what I have to tell you. Don't sit continuously for long hours. That can increase vata predominance in our body and create problem. The cervical and lumbar issues we always get, because I'm a person who treats patients. Cervical and lumbar issues are very, very common even for young people, because we were getting engineers from IT field from all over India as well as from abroad, having cervical and lumbar degenerative spines and completely degenerated, because they might have earned a lot of money by the end of third year, fourth year, but the whole money is spent for their health, because the next few years they are not able to work because they cannot sit like this because of continuous pain and radiating pain. And we used to give them ayurvedic treatment, internal medications to improve the quality of life, reducing the swelling internally. And again, I would like to highlight it here. In modern medicine, when you have sciatica, after some time, if the disc bulge is very much there, they will advise you for surgery, because that is their protocol. But in Ayurveda, if you don't have a neurological deficit, I'm not against surgery. If there is no neurological deficit, like your urine output is not under control, you are not able to stand, you are not able to feel the that your leg is there, that kind of thing means it is a clear cut indication for surgery. Other than that, if you do the Ayurvedic therapy for osteoarthritis as well as for sacral issues and cervical issues, that makes a lot of difference in improving your quality of life. And years together, you are not able to, you need not take any medicine. This is not a lifelong this thing. So everything, having regular exercises, keeping a good posture, that is very important. Ayurveda discusses about that. If you are continuously sitting, because in front of computer, if you are doing that, you sit like this for long hours. I tell my patients that you sit straight and keep the monitor up and sit straight like this, because otherwise your cervical muscles will be in spasm, and there can be a nerve compression, and over a period of time you will start having numbness of your fingers, and you are not able to move your wrist. And doctors diagnose it as a cervical spondylosis with radiculopathy or a carpal tunnel syndrome. They suggest you for surgery, which is not needed. If you regularly do exercises, if you keep a good posture, and if you are taking certain simple medicines which reduces the over a period of time inflammation or deterioration of the thing, you can prevent it. Prevention is always better than cure. So this is what I was discussing about lifestyles. So I think that actually this is all natural thing. This is what Ayurveda discusses about. Not to take medicines always. Am I clear?
No, no, certainly you are very clear. I mean, yeah, perfectly fine.
Am I expressing it in the right sense? I don't know. Yeah.
I think we can't hear you. You need to check your voice, Mike, because we can't hear you. It's a modulated voice, and we are not able to hear you.
Yeah, yeah. It is.
It's
not
like
hearing?
it's like wow. We can't
Oh,
hear you.
It's not clear.
No. I'm not talking about you, sir. I'm talking about Nick.
Net now. Yeah. I'm not getting that.
Yeah.
So this is in a nutshell. So what I am trying to explain is that having a balanced life and having a healthy lifestyle, because telling that and thinking that I don't have time earlier, because when I was working in Delhi, I also felt that actually I was not getting enough time for exercise. But
Yeah.
no, health is very, very precious. Health is wealth. If you don't have health, you have nothing. So it is our responsibility, more responsibility. It is not the responsibility of doctors to have to keep you healthy. It is the responsibility of each person to keep yourself healthy. And health is, and don't get confused about health and medicine. Medicine is not health. Health is something that you need to create yourself, and it
Yeah.
is your own responsibility. And don't give that responsibility to your doctors. This is what I have to tell you. But of course, the doctor's help is needed whenever some irregularities in your health, day-to-day health, and you are not able to perform day-to-day activities
Yeah.
without medicine, then only a doctor need to intervene. Otherwise, keeping a regular, good, healthy diet, having adequate water, don't indulge in overindulgence in so many other activities, and have regular exercises, have a balanced diet, and it's very, very important to have a broad-minded outlook,
Yeah.
because if you always think about cutthroat business, cheat that person and create or take his wealth, or
Yeah.
cheat somebody and make some money, that kind of thoughts will ultimately make you sick. You may be earning lakhs of rupees, millions of dollars in the initial phase, and finally you may have to pay all this money for your health. So this
No, I
is
completely agree
being a
with that.
decision.
So,
I
yeah.
so many examples we see.
No, no,
So
perfectly.
this is
So,
what
according
I
to Ayurveda, wealth. What is wealth? Wealth is about money, or
wealth
wealth is
is
good
health.
health.
Health
Wealth
without
is good.
health, nothing. Without health, no wealth is there.
Because I
Because if
think
you have
people
everything,
are
but if you
people are
don't have the health to enjoy those things, what is the
true.
point in earning money and earning all the facilities in the world? You are not able to enjoy it.
And I think that also a lot of people. I mean, I'm not sure about. I can't name numbers basically, but I think success for everyone means money. And I
Yeah,
think success is not about money. Success is about your good health, and you are in good shape of mind with good
sure. Yeah,
mind.
that is important.
So
Money is
people
needed. Money
people
is
think
needed
of
for
success about
our
money
thing, but
basically.
money alone is not sufficient for
Yeah.
in our life. That is it.
Because I think success is more about your own personality, your own health, and how you are taking care of
Yeah,
your wealth, and
yeah,
also how what kind of mindset you have, and also
yeah,
money comes in there basically, because without money
yeah,
you can't do anything. But
yeah.
success is not just about money; it's about a lot of things basically. A good
True.
way of life, a good way of
Yeah,
lifestyle, and how you can protect the environment and all those things. What
yeah.
do you think, Nick? What do
Oh,
you think,
and
Nick?
well, and can you hear me? I switched
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
headphones. Is
Fine.
this better? Because
Yeah,
sometimes, whatever reason, that other set, which I like but isn't as good. Um, yeah, Dr. Amish, what you're saying is really good. We need you here in the United States because
Yeah.
here's the problem. As you know, we have actually a 40% of Americans are they're obese. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, Dr. Sagu would make a fortune over here being a bariatric surgeon
Yeah.
because because we eat very unhealthy foods
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time, and they're actually pushed on the American
Yeah.
public. Where I live, I'm moving up to Raleigh in the downtown area, but right now I live in a country club in the south end of Raleigh because
Yeah.
I've got 2 golf courses, 18 tennis courts, 24 swimming pools. I mean, it's a great lifestyle, okay, in where I live. But when I go outside, it's because we're in a secured gated community. When I go outside, we're in what they call the rural South. A lot of people aren't familiar with the rural South, but the rural South has fried foods, fried Twinkies,
Yeah.
bad foods, fast foods, and almost everybody, not everybody, about 40% of the population is they're obese, and they suffer
Yeah.
from hypertension,
Yeah.
diabetes, and these are young people. They're a lot younger than I am.
Yeah.
Hypertension, diabetes, all these other different things at a very young age. Now, when they
Yeah.
contract the coronavirus kills them, leaves the
Yeah.
healthy people alone, but it kills them.
Yeah.
But I will tell you here, there is very little public policy in trying to impress upon the public to stay away from the high sugared drinks, the fat. You go down the street here and you're going to run into a fast food place, a fried food place, and that's all you're going to get. The healthy foods, no. It's almost like it's not even available. So what and then you're right. And then they all run around trying to chase the dollar bill. Ankit does a good job. He picks up the dollar bill and he throws it in front of the TV set. But what happens is our culture over here is let's chase the dollar bill. Okay. In other words, the thing is, and that's what they do. And so what happens is you end up with the situation that you have here today. In other words, we have a disease, you're right, that they can't. It's an enemy you can't find, but a lot of the enemy is within ourselves. And if we don't change our lifestyle, nothing's going to happen. But there has been oddly good things that have taken place. Number one, the pollution has gone down. In other words, and it's also happened in India. They say, oh, we can see the blue skies, we can see the Himalayas. You know, and I wanted to go visit Ankit, but I told Ankit, I'm asthmatic. I can't go to New Delhi and visit you because the city's too polluted. I mean, I just can't do it. You know, but now I can go visit him because I hear leaving, and I say, okay, now it's a whole different story. But the pollution here has also gone down, so that's actually been a benefit. Murder rates have gone down. That was shocking. In other words, I guess because people staying at home, Miami had no murders in the last 6 weeks or something like that. I was like, are you kidding me? You know, so there has been some benefits on the reset, yet there's a big drive to get people back to work, back to eating the fast foods, back to pollution. And that big drive possibly could kill them because another physician was on earlier and said, hey, this isn't going to go away from probably another year. In other words, this thing isn't, just because you want all this doesn't mean it's going to take place. If you start going back and doing business the way you're used to, and people are going to get infected and people are going to pass away. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. But also, if you look at it, it really does attack the people that have bad, poor immune systems, and frankly, people 60 and older with bad immune systems, they end up in the mortality sheets. If you're 60 plus and you have hypertension, you have high blood pressure, you have diabetes, or you could have asthma, you're going to end up in the mortality statistic. And as you get older, you get more. As you get younger and you're healthy, it's almost just another cold, another flu. I mean, it's not really dangerous. What I didn't see is something that is sensible. In other words, a sensible solution. Now, we had talked about this on IBM TV. First of all, we predicted the U.S. would go to 1 million. This was a month ago. We tape our program so we can say, okay, our prediction was right. But it was pretty easy to say we're going to get to 1 million because all you do is look at the slope. I mean, you're going to go there. But at the same time, our leaders don't have any, it seems to me we don't have any consistent plan on prevention. In other words, prevention, treatments, and sensibly opening up businesses. In other words, it seems like we don't have any. And part of it is what you do yourself in terms of being sensible with masks, gloves, healthy eating. I mean, you have to do all social isolation. In other words, you do stuff all that you can do. Then if you testing, I mean, I think testing is important. If you were tested and you're COVID-19 free, Ankit is, and Lynn, who just joined us, is, then we could all get together in a meeting. Because and the odds are, you're always playing the odds. The odds are everything will be fine. The reason I say odds, Lynn could have jumped and met somebody. He could have jumped into somebody who was contagious before the meeting. I mean, so the thing is, what you're doing is you're reducing the probability of us being infected. If we tested people and they were certified, I think everybody could get on a plane and fly to New Delhi with no problem. If we were all tested prior to getting on the plane, hey, look, everybody's fine here, get on the plane, the pilot clean, we can all go to New Delhi. But our leaders have come up with no tangible solution, which is, like I say, prevention, testing, and then the treatments. Now, we brought some people on that had some very interesting ideas in terms of treatments. Now, Dr. Moskowitz was talking about using prednisone, which they use obviously for asthmatics. I mean, I'm used to it. It's a very powerful drug. And frankly, I hate to say it, it works. Okay, now he's been using it for his patient, it works. But of course, you have to go through clinical trials, blind trials, et cetera, to determine is it really a super effective treatment? And one of the other problems is what stage do you bring somebody in? Because what apparently has been happening, and I just bought one of these meters. My doctors have never told me about it. It's a little meter that you buy, it's $30, and you put it on your finger, and it tells you your oxygen blood level. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Those things are... Yeah. I mean, come on, everybody should have those. And I'm sitting there, I got to learn this through television. But frankly, I didn't take Pathology 101 when I was in high school. And the reason I didn't take Pathology 101 and Epidemic 200 is they didn't offer it. So, unfortunately, I got to try to figure this out by going through stuff myself and say, oh, well, I'll go ahead and buy it because how can it hurt? Because a lot of the people that come into the hospital have low blood oxygen levels and they don't even know it. Now, as asthmatic, I can tell you, I actually feel it. Okay. I've been down that road before. So, and he says asthmatics do really well because they recognize when their lungs are going bad. The real problem is people that haven't had, respiratory illnesses. They stumble in the hospital and they're going, this guy should be dead. And then they put him on a ventilator. And of course, the ventilator has an 80% probability. 80% probability you're going to die. That's not good odds. I like to play the odds. Okay. And so what you want to do is basically increase your odds everywhere to being safe. Okay. From your own personal health to your own personal safety, then the treatments that are available. And I'll tell you this, Dr. Ramesh, one problem I have researching treatments is trying to find them and even rank them or quantify them. Now, when it comes to football players and sports people, I can go to the internet, they know everything about them. Okay. Yeah. When it comes to medical treatments, I go to the internet, I try to research, I'm finding nothing, and I know it's out there. In other words, it's extremely difficult to find things. So it's very frustrating. I believe there are some things out there like what Dr. Moskowitz was mentioning, using prednisone as one effective tool, but there were other effective tools I've seen out there that are being used right now to reduce or mitigate the coronavirus. But the information is really, really hard to find. So anyway, Lynn Shepard has joined us from our sponsor from the dollar store. Lynn, can you tell us what's going on with the dollar store?
Well, we don't have the oxygen things that you put on your fingers.
I wish you did.
What you're telling me, I love coming on this program, Nick, because I learned so many things from all the people that are on the program. Right. And you're telling everybody things that we don't hear otherwise.
Yes.
But anyway, we'll talk about the dollar store, and then I'm going to ask a question or two from you and Dr. Ramesh. But the dollar store, we have lots of things on the dollar store, but we love the mission of Money Masters, which owns IBM.TV. And that mission is to be able to bring financial education to young people, starting originally with people who are in underprivileged communities, and to help them get out of ghetto situations or other type situations by learning financial responsibility and financial information that they wouldn't otherwise learn. But as we've discussed before, I have several grandchildren who are still in junior high school and high school, and both of them need to learn the same kind of thing. So I think it's just a wonderful, wonderful mission. The dollar store is an online store. We deliver right directly to your door, unless you live in a community like I do, where we don't have mail delivery, but that's okay. At least by the way, my community, and I found this out the other day, knock on wood, is the only community in Pennsylvania that does not have a case of coronavirus. And yet we all go to the post office to pick up our mail. But in any event, we deliver right directly to the door if you have mail delivery. We deliver for free if you order over $25 worth of product. If you become a customer, just sign up to become a customer. You get $5 worth of prospective discounts through our rewards program that you can then use on your very first purchase. So all you have to do is sign up, and immediately it goes into your account. And when you go to your checkout cart, you can just put in the $5 and bingo, you get a $5 discount. But every purchase over $10 gets an additional $1 discount per $10. So for every $10. So why not? It's a great program, and people want to do it. We do not have, Nick, as you and I have discussed previously, and Ankit knows, and Dr. Ramesh probably has heard me say, we wish we had toilet paper, but I'm curious if you even found any toilet paper when you went to Costco. No.
No toilet paper in the United States. It doesn't exist.
I think everybody in Australia took the toilet paper that we had before we even had a chance to buy it. And that's probably part of it, but oh well. But we have lots of other things. Kimberly, if she were on today, would show you the masks that she likes to buy to use on her face. She talks about the fact that we have them for $2, when if she goes to a store to buy what she normally buys, it would cost anywhere from $15 to $25, depending upon what she buys. So it's a great store, lots of products. We even have CBD, just put a CBD patches on this past week, so that if you have pain, I've been told by my grandkids that I'm a bit of a pain in the neck. I'm not sure it'll help that, but anyway, we can try. So just go on, become a customer. Just sign up to become a customer. You don't even have to be a customer yet, and you'll get $5 worth of discount points to be able to apply to your first purchase. So there you go, Nick.
I would like to step or maybe list some Ayurvedic products on dollar store so that people in America and maybe around the world can utilize it. What do you think about that?
So, well, we can list some. I mean, if I go to my website, which you can't see, but we have all sorts of stuff. We have stuff in home care, office and school supplies. We have CBD supplements. Actually, people, instead of having to buy a 30-day supply of CBD, can buy a package of 1 or 2 or 4 capsules, or 2 patches. The 2 patches we have, by the way, we sell for under $4, and to get 4 patches from Amazon costs you $20, just under $20. So it's really quite a savings. We have well, Nick would like this because we have snacks, and Nick, I know, likes snacks. So we have plenty. We have food, especially for kids. Like my one grandson still lives off campus in Charlotte at UNC Charlotte, and he stayed there because he has to do programs with his roommates. He's in computer engineering, so they need food. Why not? They don't have to go out. They can just order and have it delivered right there. And especially kids, because they'll eat anything, as we probably know. But watch out, Nick, because they might order all the snackies, and then you won't get them.
Kids will grab it. Yep.
Yeah, we have kitchen stuff. We have decorations, toys for kids. We have hardware, accessories, stuff for pets. We have some pharmaceuticals. I should talk about the soap, because I'm sure that I don't know whether Dr. Ramesh was on yesterday when Dr. Yu was on, but I have a friend who did studies. He studies chemicals, and he said soaps, particularly Dove soap and Dawn soap, are really great because they suds terrifically. We have them. I'm using them. I like a particular one that's on there. That comes with made from nuts in the soap. But the Dove soap is really good for you. And I never noticed how much differently it suds versus some of the other soaps. So we all ought to be using something like Dove or Dawn, which are really great. And Dr. Yu confirmed that yesterday when we were on talking here. And we have stuff for autos, we have apparel, seasonal items, Halloween stuff is still up on the site. So maybe they're thinking we're going to start wanting to buy because we're all going to be closed in next Halloween. Who knows? But so Ankit, did I cover them all?
Yeah, almost we have covered all. What I was asking is that can we list Ayurvedic products from India on Dollar Store?
Can we list the products from India on the Dollar Store?
Yeah, and especially Ayurveda. I'm talking about Ayurveda.
I'll have to ask Rex. Maybe one day Rex Maida, who started the Dollar Store in 1996 and who owns the name, okay, maybe what we need to do is to invite Rex to come join us and talk a little bit about the Dollar Store. I know he and I have talked about the possibility of having an online store in India. Okay, so it does require a lot of reprogramming, and he would have to do that. But and by the way, I'm sure there are products from India, but 60% of the products that we have come from the United States, which for people here in the United States is an important thing because they're ordering products from home and helping their own economy. So there you go.
Yep. And yeah, the thing is, the person who founded the Dollar Store online is actually from India.
He is from India.
So the thing is, but he doesn't have any of his Dollar Store online open in India. They're all open in the United States. So they service the United States. Ultimately, I'm sure he's going to open up a Dollar Store online in India. Because what happens is you order everything online and they just drop it to your house, which is the way of the future, at least here, even on restaurants. Because the last week, I just order online and they drop the food off, or I go pick it up, and it becomes very convenient rather than having to go to a restaurant, sit down, eat the dinner, and all that other stuff. So we're seeing a big shift toward everything online, and it looks like it's going to continue because remdesivir and hydroxychloroquine both failed their clinical test as of 2 days ago. So the thing is, here's what it means for us. It means like Groundhog Day, you're going to see a lot more winter. Okay, but quercetin, I think it is, quercetin, the IBM's actually mainframe did an analysis and gave 77 possible solution, and one of them was one that Dr. Moskowitz, I think, talked about, quercetin or something like that. It's like it's some sort of natural. You can actually get it if you eat grapes and strawberries and things like that. You can do it naturally, or you can actually buy little pills and get that. But it was number 5 according to IBM's mainframe as being a way to prevent the coronavirus. And I thought that's pretty impressive because IBM ran their mainframe. It's called Summit. It actually is a big computer. It's this supercomputer in Tennessee that cranks data all the time. And what that does, it ingests and cranks data. It came up with 77 possible solutions, and quercetin was number 5. I don't know where prednisone ranks, but when I did my research, it looked like it also was a potential, nothing's a game changer, but certainly a way to be a treatment. However, in terms of remdesivir and hydroxychloroquine as a solution, it looks like that all went down. So the reality, because there was a physician who's a physician in Minnesota, he goes, here's the reality of this. If you're looking for a solution, look about 18 months from now. In other words, this is going to go on for a year, which means, remember, you can't go tell the virus to stop. It ain't going to stop. Okay, which means that who's going to have to adjust? The virus isn't going to adjust, so who's going to have to adjust? we are going to have to adjust. And that's
Absolutely.
a hard one for people to digest. We are going to have to change our ways because the virus is going to change their ways, or you're going to end up in the bloody morgue, especially if you're over age 60, you're suffering from diabetes, hypertension, asthma, doesn't matter. Your mortality rates just skyrocket from 60 to 90. It goes like every 10 years. It looks like it doubles your mortality rates, and everybody else just gets real sick. But something we don't know is what the permanent damage is of the virus. In other words, it apparently attacks your lungs, number one, but heart, number two. And we don't know what the permanent damage that may take place because it's too much of an unknown. So when I was talking to Kim and Ankit about doing this show, I said, this thing's going to be around for a while. And I said, well, at least a couple months. But now I'm thinking it's going to be around for a little longer than that. And here in the United States, they're trying to reopen. Let's go back to normal. And see, the thing is, I think you're going to see a real upsurge. There's a theory that the hot weather will stop it. I don't think so, but it may mitigate it. Somebody said there's no studies on it. There was a study actually by MIT, but again, the way the study is conducted, data and studies, you have to look at how the study was conducted, and it wasn't peer reviewed. Very important, obviously, for all the doctors know you got to have a peer review studied. And they admitted it, the MIT people, but it was an empirical study saying, well, the hot places in Africa don't have coronavirus as much. The data all shows that. That's true. But data can lie to you. Here's lie number one. They may not have been tested. Seriously. They're in Africa.
Absolutely.
They didn't
Sure.
tested. So you don't know. So even though it shows that, it doesn't mean that we're looking at true data. Number two, they may not have been infected, but I don't think that's true. So it's not conclusive. How will we know is if you do see a decline in July and August, perhaps the coronavirus, like a lot of viruses, don't do well in the hot weather. They tend to break down, and when people sneeze, the sneeze doesn't go too far because the humidity drops it. This is the theory behind why viruses don't work in hot weather. But here was the problem that Dr. Fossey was saying, and the CDC. Great. Let's say it goes down in July and August. What happens in October of next year? November, December? It goes skyrocketing right back up. Along with what they're worried about, another flu, the normal flu patterns along with the coronavirus. In other words, we see a dip in July and August, then we said skyrocket back because how this thing grows is just unbelievable. I mean, the data, to watch the data go, because Ankit, you and I were talking about this a month ago, and I said, in the United States, there were only maybe 10,000 cases, but when we were looking at the data and the increase, I said, this is going to be 1 million by the end of the month. Guess what? We're 900 and change, and we're not at the end of the month. And so I think the United States is going to hit the 1 million. But here was the other thing he was saying, the CDC. Well, we may only see the tip of the iceberg. Why? Because 1 million is less than like 1% of our population. In other words, the amount of people we've had tested and infected is like 5% of the population. If this grows to a critical mass, 50% of our population or 60, where the virus goes away only because the virus can't infect everybody because everybody's been infected, then it's a whole different story. In other words, this may be the beginning of a sad story, not the end, which everybody wants to see the end, but they're not going to see it. So healthy lifestyles, yes, that's very important. But that would be a reversal of everything we've done here. Dr. Sagu would be out of business, but like I said, if he came in the South, he'd go bariatric surgery. I could do that all day here. So, I mean, it's just the name of the game. So I think we're going. Ankit, I think the show's going to be around a little longer.
Can I share?
But,
yes.
I can't believe what happened in Georgia because Georgia, I mean, the governor and the mayor wants to open the state, and then they wanted to open the parlor, the bowling alleys, the nail spa, the gyms, and all those things.
Yep.
And now we are seeing a hike in the COVID cases in Georgia, especially.
Yeah.
May I take leave? Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to go also. God bless. Hit the green button on IBM.TV and come to our dollar store.
All right. Thanks, Lynn.
Yep.
Take care.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Sorry, Nick, I have something to share from India. I just spoken to the health ministry people,
Mhm.
and they have given some information about the plasma therapy.
Yeah, plasma therapy. Yes. What's
Yes,
the story?
so it's a very good and the satisfactory information from the plasma therapy, because
Mhm.
see, there is no vaccine, there is no treatment, and what we are thinking that this salt can be a better solution or better treatment, but really the plasma therapy they started doing the result also.
Mhm.
So today in India, 3 hospitals started plasma therapy. One is ILBS Delhi, SPG Global Karnataka, and ICMR.
Mhm.
So 10 patients cured in Delhi within the 8th day actually with plasma therapy,
Right.
and it's a very fantastic result as such.
Mhm.
And now the other hospital like SPG Global and ICMR, they've started giving the plasma therapy treatment, but they have not yet received any result
Mhm.
right now. But
Right.
they're hopeful that this result would be a perfect result. They are very confident right now.
Mhm.
So I really want to thank to Drug Control General of India, Dr. VG Sumani, that he as a head of the regulatory body in India, they have given permission on fast track. They
Mhm.
supported a lot, and the one doctor who is Dr. Serene, and these people are very much aggressive, proactive, whatever you want to say. The brilliant person,
Right.
they have done these things on in a very systematic and managed way. Until now, we are very much satisfactory with the plasma therapy.
Mhm.
So I really praise Dr. Vijay Sumani and Drug Control General of India and the other people, those who are working as a team. So plasma therapy is the better solution right now, proved in India here. So must be same cure, and the result would be around the world, I think so.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that would be the leading therapy. In other words, plasma
Yeah.
therapy right now. In other words, before you're looking in the future. I thought remdesivir would be one of the leading therapies, but now it looks like that's not true. And hydroxychloroquine, I thought was just a
Yes,
joke.
again.
But plasma therapy, stem cell therapy, to me that stuff makes sense as a therapy just empirically,
Absolutely.
because if you're able to get the antibodies of the people, especially that have gone through this and are basically cured for the most part. Yeah, it can come back, but for the most part, again, you're playing the odds. Then it would probably be the best form of treatment. And I think really what we have to develop before the vaccine is effective treatments, at least somewhat effective. No treatment's going to be 100%, but having a
Agreed.
plasma therapy, a stem cell therapy, a prednisone therapy as a treatment may not be a bad way to go. At least from what I've seen and read. The real problem I'm having, Mohammed, is trying to pull the information off the internet and get rid of all the bad information. It's hard to do, to find
Yes.
out what is the leading therapies that are out there right now. It's really difficult because the treatments are being done around the world, but getting the consistent information is
But
difficult.
Nikki, what I believe, a lot of doctors in India, what they are doing is they are focusing on boosting the immunity so that
Yeah.
the person can fight with the COVID. So suppose if someone is suffering from COVID, so they are giving those radical medicines. Apart from that, they are giving them the best available food and also trying to boost the immunity in some way so that that person can fight the way back, and they can drop their COVID cells, maybe deactivate them for a certain period of time, and then in the meantime they can have those vaccines and available things ready. That is also what's happening around.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, and the thing is, since it is being tested around the world, I don't know who compiles the information and publishes the information. It seems to me the information is really difficult to get. It's not compiled in one central place. I thought we had a World Health Organization where information studies are compiled and
So,
presented. Apparently
you
not.
know what happened to who? Because the US started, ignoring the funds, and they are not putting the funds. And here comes China. They are funding the WHO, and they just give $30 million to WHO. So you know what's happening.
US
Brilliant.
US alone contributes 400 to $500 million to the WHO,
Right.
whereas China only contributes 30 to 40 million dollars. So it
Yeah, but
matters a
now,
lot. And
so
why
now,
WHO is listening to China?
but Mohammed, you won't believe that I think China have given this extra fund to WHO in this current situation because I mean USA have refused to give them, and I think most of other countries. So China is fulfilling whatever he can as a country to WHO. I think it should be. We don't have to say on a public platform, but it's more. I think governed by China rather than the world.
Ankit, money hardly matters. Main thing is the trust. So once we lose the trust, we lose everything.
Yeah.
See, right now, see, world is facing life and death. And if
Yeah.
something coming question mark on the WHO is a big thing. It's a matter of trust. So whom we can trust on that? We cannot trust on the prime minister. We cannot trust on the president. We cannot trust on the global leaders. To whom we will trust? So WHO is the main body right now here to
Right.
take care of the whole global community. And it's a
Right.
very big questions.
Yeah.
Even then, China is supporting. So China is supporting is wrong way actually.
Hmm.
China should clarify first why they have hidden the information.
Yeah,
Because of that, we are facing this situation right now.
yeah,
Am I right?
but that's true. But the thing is, see, that should be a separate discussion
Absolutely. Agree. I
as
totally
opposed to
agree.
funding. See, the real problem is
Absolutely.
you're connecting funding with
Mhm.
a event that may be a misdemeanor type event, but you're connecting your funding to it, and you really shouldn't do that. It should be separately discussed.
Absolutely.
Okay. In the meantime,
Surprised to see a lot of countries are not still learning from what happened to other countries. You remember we spoke to Stephanie a couple of weeks back, and they had very minimalistic cases, and now you can see they have thousands of cases and
Mhm.
of cases reported every day, and they
Yeah.
have around 1,300 people died so far.
right.
So I'm surprised why we are not learning and doing the best possible things to protect the life of people. I think, I mean, a lot of
I
people
just
or a lot
want
of
to
yes,
I just want to share my information, my personal experience as such. See, I just repeating right now. I diagnosed pre-diabetic condition in 2016, and my glucose level was 411. So why it was happening with me? Because I was not sleeping on time. So I changed my lifestyle. Firstly, I started taking 8 hours sleep, perfect 8 hours sleep. Second,
okay,
I started taking foods on time, and I tried to get those food that can take care of the immunity first. So these two things were very important. And third thing, what I changed in my life, I started taking the water frequently. So these things made me very strong, very energetic. And after 2016 and 2020, right now, I am very energetic and I have no symptom of diabetes.
Hmm.
So what I want to convey to the global community, immunity is our own property. The way we care the some land, some buildings, some business, we have to take care our health first. We are working for the wealth first right now, so we have to take care the health first on priority, and we should know how the health will be impacted on the basis of food, on the basis of rest, on the basis of, see, if we will not be take the right food, we will be forced to take the medicine on that.
Hmm.
So we
Yeah.
have to
true,
have the understanding of best food, the balanced food, or you can just say the super food, and
Hmm.
timing of
yeah,
taking the meal, lunch,
Yeah.
breakfast, everything. It is mandatory thing,
Yeah.
and we should know how to burst the stress. We are not bursting the stress.
yeah,
So stress, what we do, they are just giving our immune. They are giving our immune very, making me weak to the immune actually.
Hmm.
So we have to take care of all these things. These are mandatory. So only these immune system can help us, because vaccine is not the solution. As Dr. Philip already has informed us, uh, these vaccines are having the molybdenum, mercury, and some other toxic material as well. They might cause some death. Our immune is the best friend.
Yeah.
So we have to take care of the immune first. So awareness is very mandatory. Awareness is very mandatory. What to eat, what not to eat, what to do, what not to do. It's mandatory things.
Hmm. Yeah. And the real problem is that means that we have to ourselves make changes. People don't like to do that, Mohammed. In other words, the thing is, it's much easier just to be given a pill, the vaccine, let this thing go away. But I don't see the vaccines coming around anytime soon. Now, of course, it could change, but right now, there's nothing out there. The treatments will come first, and yes, and so the treatments, the plasma treatment, stem cell treatment, maybe prednisone treatments will come, but what it does is mitigate it. Germany, though, they said the reason they have a higher success rate than the United States is testing. And that's one reason I bought this little thing. I'll show it to you as soon as it comes in. But I remember as an asthmatic, what it does is you put your finger and it measures your oxygen in your blood. I don't know how it does it, but it does it. And they said the thing is, in Germany, they test people for that all the time. In the United States, they come into the hospital and their blood oxygen level is way, way down. They're almost dead to begin with. The doctors are going, I don't even know how you're able to walk in here. You should be dead. And so what happens because of that lack of testing, a simple test, really, where you could have coronavirus, but, you could be okay. But remember, it comes on real quick. But if you had that little test, with your finger, and then whether or not your oxygen level is going down. Now, as asthmatic, I actually feel it because I've had enough of these problems over 37 years, more than that, maybe 40, 50 years, that I actually feel my oxygen level going down. It's really weird. Your lungs get tight and you start feeling a little woozy, you need to go see the doctor. And then, you know what they put you on, though? Here's what I found out. Prednisone and albuterol. In other words, the same stuff I got in my house. And so I go, well, I haven't had to go to the hospital since then because, well, when I feel like that, I take prednisone and albuterol because that's what they're going to do when I go to the hospital. There was no magic pill, What's happening is the non-asthmatics, this is the first time they've had severe respiratory illnesses. They're coming in way too late and they're dying. Because the thing is, the doctor, if you come in too late, whatever they put you on, prednisone, albuterol, it just isn't going to have the effect. So I think educating people on that is really important. And Germany has a better success rate in terms of death because they test. They go, okay, everybody, we're going to make sure, know if you have it. And if you do have it, know what to do, and if you're getting into trouble real quickly, you have to be put on some preventive, of course, like prednisone, albuterol, know about, but also what you're talking about is plasma therapy from somebody who has the antibodies. Empirically, it seems like that would work, assuming that you're able to get the plasma without any rejection. You see, so I would think something like that.
Germany is the only country in the world who tested first. And because there are two types of patient right now. One is having the symptom and second is not having symptoms.
Right.
So Germany is the only country in the world who tested first. And second thing, they started giving permission to make a move to the only person who has given the positive result in especially the immunomodulator immune system. Actually, they tested the immune first. So if the person is having the good immunity, they can make a move somewhere else. So when we talk about these parameters in India, Maharashtra is the only state in India that conducted approximately 20% test of whole Indian population. They are the pioneer. That's why Mumbai and Delhi, they are having the good amount of patients, where 75% patients are asymptomatic. They do not have symptoms. And it is mandatory to have the oxygen device that can monitor the oxygen. It is like that. It is like that very simple device. It is not that one, but this simple device. The moment we put on the finger, it gives us the result. What is the parameters? So oxygen level is very mandatory right now to understand the severity of the patient.
Correct. Right.
Yes. So I should praise to Germany and those who are giving priority the test, like South Korea and Singapore and some other countries as well.
I would like to play this video where scientists are rushing to create the coronavirus vaccine around the world. So we'll get to know what's happening in the research area.
Experts, scientists are our best hope to end the coronavirus pandemic. Research labs around the world are racing to create a new vaccine. The idea is to simulate an infection while avoiding the possibly severe symptoms of COVID-19. Once vaccinated, our immune system should destroy the virus if we are exposed to it. According to the WHO, there are currently more than 60 teams of scientists working on a vaccine. Under normal circumstances, it would take more than 10 years. But thanks to previous research efforts, there is a chance this process may be fast-tracked, with human trials already underway in some cases. But scientists agree that it will still take months until a vaccine is approved. When will a corona vaccine be ready? A vaccine that enables us to resume our lives without restrictions while protecting us from the disease. I'm afraid we need to be patient and keep our distance for a while longer. And let scientists do their job, like here in Berlin, where a biotech company comes up with promising results.
Berlin is... Hi, have you always wanted to learn to code but don't know where to start? Would you like to make amazing websites and apps and bring your...
It's empty.
Came the commercial.
Are staying at home. But these lab technicians can't work from home. For them, there's more work than ever. The chemists at the JPT peptide company are regarded as systemically important, since what they're producing here could speed up the search for a coronavirus vaccine. We're creating peptide-based tools that enable the vaccine developers to monitor the immune systems of patients in treatment and to track them over a certain period of time.
Patienten zu messen und über einen Zeitraum zu monitoren.
Peptides are amino acid chains that make up proteins. This company creates hundreds of thousands of them and assembles them so that they resemble the coronavirus's most important surface proteins. The scientists have been working on this project since January. Their work will contribute to...
Looks like it blanked out the sound. Oh, can you hear me, Mohammed?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because I was also following my RNA-based vaccines.
The virus. This in turn encourages the immune system to develop antibodies. Then, if the real coronavirus strikes, the person would be well equipped and able to defend himself or herself.
So it looks like no matter where we're going, we're looking at antibodies.
Being developed here. JPT's technology has already been used in the fight against the Zika virus and Ebola. The Berlin-based company is indirectly involved in the race for a vaccine, since it belongs to BioNTech, a German company at the forefront of the vaccine race. But for JPT, it's not about competition.
Ich glaube, das ist falsch ausgedrückt.
I think that's the wrong way of looking at it. At the moment, it's really about getting a vaccine onto the market. It doesn't matter who does this in the end. It's about making a contribution and maybe being among the first to do so. But right now, it's truly about fulfilling the ethical duty to help. The technicians here seem to feel the same way.
Ja, auf jeden Fall.
Yes, absolutely. You think you can contribute to making people healthy or even healing them. It's very motivating.
Ja, schon.
Yes, sure. But I do have mixed feelings. On the one hand, I'm afraid. On the other, I know I have something important to contribute. It's exciting.
Es bleibt spannend.
It certainly is. A new test could be ready soon. And many are placing their hopes in the effectiveness of an mRNA-based vaccine.
Invest your time in the career of tomorrow. Enroll in Purdue Learn's postgraduate program.
At Purdue University. Okay.
The whole world is waiting for a vaccine. But even though at least 60 teams of researchers around the globe are working to develop one, no one expects a rapid breakthrough because producing a vaccine goes through several stages, and that takes time. Now, in a first step, the virus and its effects on the human body are analyzed. Now, this is necessary to determine the composition of the vaccine. Potential vaccines are first tested on animals, and later on, this procedure is followed by testing human volunteers. Now, if all those tests are successful, the vaccine has to go through a lengthy approval process. And only after that, mass production can begin. Now, this process usually takes up to 15 years, but thanks to new technologies, development can go a lot faster today. And for more, I'm joined by Klaus Zichotek, president of the Paul-Ehrlich Institute. That's the German Federal Institute of Vaccines and Biomedicines. Good to have you with us. First of all, I mean, should a COVID-19 vaccine be fast-tracked? And if so, what stage would be best to skip?
Definitely, we have development, and there's nothing to skip, but rather to combine, which means we're given highest priority at the Paul-Ehrlich Institute to the developments and to our regulatory advice. And in terms of, let's say, shortening the development time, what we're doing is there are a focused number of animal studies that have to be done. For example, general pharmacology, toxicology, or defining the dose in animals that will be applied to humans in the first step. And then, of course, we also have to combine clinical trial phases. So there's discussion whether some of the developers would combine phase 1, phase 2, or phase 2 and 3, and increase maybe the number of general subjects that will be enrolled in these studies. But we need to be very careful with the assessment and with the development as usual. But of course, we can concentrate, focus, and shorten time.
All right. Well, time, of course, is of the essence of all those studies underway at the moment. Which one is the most promising, you say?
Well, I think we need a variety of COV-2 vaccine developments. What we're prioritizing currently, and also the developers are prioritizing, is RNA, DNA vaccines, and also vector vaccines, because they have the advantage that we know exactly which parts of the genetic information and safe genetic information of the pathogen can be included in the vaccine. We know this from preparatory research work also at the Paul-Ehrlich Institute on most coronavirus vaccines. And in that respect, I think we're safe.
Okay, but what about production capacity? But developing a vaccine is one thing, but then once we have it, will there be enough for everyone? And should everyone get it?
I think, first of all, those who are at risk should get it first, at risk for severe causes of COVID-19, but also at risk for being infected, maybe at more risk than others. And number two, manufacturing will be no issue. Specifically, the RNA and DNA vaccines can be manufactured in a large amount of doses in quite a short time. We're talking about 1 million doses or so within a time period of 4 weeks, and that's the real advantage of these new vaccine platforms, as we say.
And by the time we have a vaccine, the pandemic will quite probably have peaked. Are we actually working on a vaccine for a future pandemic?
Yes, we are. I think we learned already from the Ebola epidemic that we had in West Africa. We're taking these kind of learnings to the development here of the SARS-CoV-2 vaccine, but we will use the time in any case to develop these platforms so that we're ready and quicker ready than this time to have a vaccine if the next pandemic may arise.
All right, Professor Zichotek there from the German Federal Institute of Vaccines and Biomedicines. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Now,
can I comment something?
Your questions, and please do keep them.
Yeah, do you want to pause that, Anka?
On Twitter or via email.
See, I'm well aware about the bioequivalence study and clinical trial study because I have hand-on experience for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, the simple way, this is a very simple way to understand every common person. What is the procedure and what is the timeline for that? See, preclinical is the first stage that conducts on the animals. And it takes minimum, I'm talking about the minimum time period required. 28 days is required.
Mm-hmm.
But for 28 days preclinical trial, we have to have all the things organized on the time. So we can add up 1 week more, 5 weeks minimum required for the clinical trials.
Right.
And then we go for the safety study. Phase 1 clinical trial is simply a safety study. It may be of 2 to 4 weeks of time. We can take the 1 month also.
Mm-hmm.
Then comes phase 2 and phase 3. Phase 2 and phase 3 are especially for the efficacy of the drug. It again, the phase 2 takes minimum the 1 month time. But when we talk about the phase 3 clinical trial, it takes minimum 2 months of time. So altogether, when we combine, minimum 6 months time is required for a clinical trial, and to organize these clinical trials, maybe 1 more month. So 7 month minimum time period is required. Even we are moving towards on the fastest way actually.
Right.
And then see, it depends on the regulatory body also, because they have to assess, they have to finalize. Sometimes it takes even 1 year of time giving permission. Sometimes they might give the permission within a month of time.
Right.
So maximum time period required for giving the final approval for the production of vaccine or any treatment, it might take 7 to 8 months of time. Then
Yes.
then production can be started away.
Yeah, right. Because the other thing is you don't know the short-term and long-term effects of the vaccine. So the thing is, everybody thinks the vaccine's going to be out in the next couple months. Forget it. I mean, I'm looking at sometime next year. A lot of commentators have said the same thing. Sometime next year. So what's going to be available between now and next year? Treatments. In other words, there will be certain improvements in treatments, and also the testing, and that's where Germany was real strong at. And having everybody tested, having those little blood oxygen things, and yeah, there you go, and educating people on testing. But here's what I've seen in our leadership: nothing about that. In other words, it's almost like chickens with their heads cut off. But they're the wrong people leading the conversation. It should be medical doctors and the PhD MDs who actually do the work, which is what Ankit you just showed. Remember, I told you a long time ago, I said the people who actually do the work you never see, because they're usually MD PhDs and all they do is research in universities. I mean, seriously, and they don't really do anything other than that. They're almost sitting so far in the back lines, and they don't want anything to do with the politicians, to be honest with you, because the politicians are have a real hard time with veracity. They're just trying to tell the truth and be straight. They're not very good at it,
So yesterday we had a guest, Dr. Arthur Apollinario from North.
Yes, I listened to him yesterday. Who's really? Are you talking about the guy from North Carolina?
Yeah, and he said that. Yeah, and he said that all the research and all those things are going on at CDC and at university level and research level, but the frontliners to see the patient or diagnose the patient are the family physicians, basically.
Right.
And so you won't find any research from them.
Yeah.
So they should be the ideal one who are doing the research and then follow up that research with other research companies. And he was I think he was dead sure. I mean that whatever symptoms or whatever frontliners can do, research people can't do at the back of the research lab.
Yeah. Where'd you get that guy from, Ankit? Where'd he come from? Do you know?
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay, tell me after the show, right? Because I was listening to the show yesterday. I thought the show was really good. You had a lot of good people on. Frankly, the show yesterday was better than CNN. I was very impressed. I was going, because I was listening to CNN simultaneous, listening to IBM TV. So I'm trying to get the information from CNN and IBM TV. Then I realized the people on IBM TV are better than the ones at CNN, because of who was talking there. Today they had a really good show on CBS with the Face of the Nation. They had some really good people on. So I'm trying to follow some of the other shows and see what they're talking about, and then following the internet, trying to find the information. But Germany seems to be the leader because of the testing, and see, they have to explain to the American public the importance of that little oxygen test. In other words, see, the American public doesn't know. Yes, they don't know that. I ordered mine. I'm going, hey, look, I should have had that years ago when it first came out, because every asthmatic should have that, because I know when you have an asthma attack, you can run into serious trouble very quickly. And usually back then, like I said, twice I had to go to the hospital. And then after the second time, I realized they did the same thing they did in the first time. They gave me prednisone, and they stuffed me literally with albuterol. Now I was told, hey, never take too much albuterol. They just pounded albuterol into my lungs like, oh, brother. I mean, I was like, all the time on albuterol, and then pounded prednisone into, and then dismissed me, and they did the blood oxygen thing. So I thought, well, that thing you could do I'm not going to say people should self-treat, but I have my stack of prednisone sitting in the back because some doctors go, we're not going to prescribe it as it's too dangerous. Too dangerous because if I'm stupid and I keep taking it because it gives you a high. Okay, if you're dumb, you would do that, but I'm not stupid. I don't take it unless I have to, But it's a very powerful drug. But of course, the plasma treatments you guys are talking about. I mean, if they have the antibodies, and that's what they were showing on the German TV, the way I understand it, and the guy he was from North Carolina of all places, Hey, I live in North Carolina. But he was really good. Ankit, he was good. Yeah,
and he knows how to hypnotize the people and then get them diagnosis and things done and medicate them with different ways.
Well, we actually do have good universities. There's a university called Duke University here. My son went to Duke, so I'm a little bit familiar with it. He lives very close to Duke. They have University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. It's a good university, and North Carolina State. And they have what they call it the research triangle, and they have a research triangle park. So which has a lot of high tech companies, some biotech, but not too much. But then they have Duke Medical, which is pretty good. So there's some good research done here. But if you go throughout the world, there's a lot of these research centers. Northeastern, where I teach, I was sitting there going, there's been a bunch of people on Northeastern who's doing research. I'm going, I get these guys on because I've been teaching there, been on faculty for 10 years now. I just don't know these people because they're in a whole different sector than I am. They're in the medical sciences. I'm in the business department. Okay, and people in the business department, I'm sorry, we don't talk to the people in the medical. Okay. It's just the nature of the beast. You only talk to the people in your own area. But Northeastern's been doing some really good research in this area. Oxford, and I went to school in Oxford years ago, and I'm talking a long time ago, like 1982 or 83. I think it was 82. Oxford has been doing some really good research in this area, and they've developed what they believe to be a vaccine. If you combine all these, you actually have, like I said, there's probably a cure out there. I said that months ago. It's just that we don't know what it is because even IBM's mainframe said, here's 77 potential solutions. Go figure which one's the best. And I go.
But I think, Nick, after doing this show for more than a month and after, analyzing the world for over 4 months, prevention is better than cure, what I've learned, because we have to prevent it so that we won't be able to get the COVID in our body. And also, I think if we get isolated and if we follow the right norms, I think we can still protect ourselves and wait till the next vaccine will come, basically, because vaccine will take time. And
it's going to take time.
We have to stay alive and we have to stay calm and we have to stay united and we have to keep our fingers crossed and be positive. And I think that's the only way we can balance it out and don't think about vaccine much, but think about your immunity and how you can boost it.
Yeah. Right. And then the thing is, that's going to be the first thing is building up your own immunity. And so I think the show's really good because people like myself, you got to get pounded in the head all the time, Otherwise, we don't change. And so Ramesh, when he was on before, kept pounding, hey, you got to eat healthy, got to eat healthy. Because my natural inclination is what Lynn Shepard, order the junk food, baby. So he's saying Nick loves the junk food. That's true, I do. So I need guys like Ramesh to keep telling me, don't do that stuff. And you have to do that to everybody. I'm not the only one. Then you'll start moving over to maybe I should eat the healthy berries that my wife gives me as opposed to the junk food that I love. And you got to continue to do that to people. And that's the same thing with education on the treatment. You got to pound in the fact, not just treatment, but testing, that you need to test. And if the government's not going to give you the coronavirus test because they don't have it here, you can buy those little meters. Those are available online right now, $39. I wish they were on the dollar store. Come on. Every asthmatic should have them, and anybody who has COVID-19 should have them because there's no way if they haven't had respiratory illness, know that their blood oxygen level is critical. They just don't know that. And by the time they walk in and see the doctor, hey, the doctor's going, man, you're walking dead. What are you even doing here? You should be dead. Do you know what your blood oxygen levels are? You have no oxygen in your whole bloody blood, dude. You should be dead. Okay, and that's what the doctors are thinking. saying that. They're being very
You hit
nice.
the nail on the head. If you listened to Dr. Art yesterday,
I did listen to him.
I asked him if you heard that. I asked him,
Dr. Art was killer. He was a killer.
What's the scariest part? And he goes, when my patient's blue and they
Yeah.
don't.
They're walking, and they're blue and gray. That means they're having some issues. When your fingers turn blue and you start turning blue, then you have some issues. But no, the show yesterday was really good. I was listening to IBM TV and CNN simultaneously. IBM TV was better. Of course, I'm not objective, but if I was objective, I would say it's better, than CNN yesterday. Then they had Face the Nation today, which was also a really good show. So it's up there where we were at, I think. It's hard to rank shows. You have to have, it's almost like ranking what's the best virus. You need an independent group, a study group, and then they rank which has the best show on coronavirus. But I think we're competitive with CNN, ABC, CBS, and the others that are out there. And the guy that you had from North Carolina, where did you get him? He was good.
So we got people in the right places. But the thing about North Carolina or anybody in the U.S. to get a physician to actually come on the show and talk, you fear that they're going to lose their job. Right? They are not supposed to.
Well, there's issues. It's just like, I'm going to bring in, and I saw Ankit's thing. I'm bringing in Terry Rushton on Monday, and Ankit's already has more people than he needs. He's a CPA, okay, and he's going to talk about the CARES Act and some of the stuff that CPAs talk about, the financial aspects. Okay, the real problem with securities guys like Max is that FINRA regulates them. Okay. In other words, if they say something wrong with the, or try to sell a security, they get hammered on what they call a Form ADV. So the real problem with all the professionals, got to be really careful what they say. Lawyers like myself, but the good news is I'm not giving any legal advice. But if I was, the bar slaps you. What are you doing giving anybody legal advice? The good news about coronavirus has nothing to do. We don't discuss the law here, so that's pretty good. But all the professionals, the medical doctors, et cetera, are very concerned about losing their licenses if they go overboard on what they're discussing. And that's the real issue. Now, Sasha Namtase doesn't have that issue because he does chess. So
we had fun yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, it went good. Yes,
it was a good Super Sunday for us. We had a play reading on IBM TV and followed by a kids talk show.
Right.
And we have a great insights about Ayurveda from Dr.
Wait, Max Illingworth and all that stuff. I checked on the other day because Magnus Carlsen is doing his Magnus Carlsen International. Some grandmaster did a commentary on just those games. And Max was one of them, by the way. 75,000 people tuned in. I'm serious. Almost 100,000 people watch. If you have a latest game and you have a grandmaster discuss it, you're going to get attendance that's off the chart. I'm just letting you know. And Max would be really good. I thought he was a really good speaker on his video he did. I just don't know about the time zones. We just have to coordinate the time zones, but we need to bring back.
Also, did you watch our play today?
No.
It's a love story. Oh my gosh. So we had a team of people come on and put a theater show on. And Nick, it got more views than anything we've ever had.
Are you kidding me?
No, I am not kidding you.
Oh,
Nick,
wow.
The count was going off the chart.
You were actually able to,
we should talk about the after the show.
It's recorded so I can see it later. It's recorded so I can see it later.
People loved it. It was a true, really cool story, about how, meeting, doing things on the internet. It was a little love, personally written, and they practiced it and had it all pulled together in 48 hours, written, practice, and ready to go in 48 hours.
Wow.
They're going to do this every week for us. They decided,
okay.
So we got our own theater group.
Get their promos to me, and I'll get it promoted. I mean,
we got our own theater group. You love the theater.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's certainly, and I do know we have Alexandra Starr coming in, right?
Yes, she's coming in.
Starr is here, but yes, we also have Alexandra May coming in.
We got two Alexandra. One's
Okay.
Alexander and the other is Alexandra.
Right.
Let's play it. Let's get the music going.
Right.
So if you've heard her intro is really rocking good.
I ain't no typical girl. I ain't no typical girl. I ain't no typical. I ain't cheerleading while the boys play ball. I ain't no typical girl. No, no. I wanna be right there in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's the intro.
That's your intro.
Wow. Okay, so that starts at 3:00 Eastern.
In a few minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
No, it's an hour from now. It's an hour 20 minutes.
Oh,
I was going to take off and have lunch.
And I got to get all the work together and get it ready to go. Yeah, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see if I can get outside a little bit. So I'm sitting outside in the cafe.
Well, since Sasha's here, I was going to do lunch. It's after 2. I was filling in for you, Kim.
I know. I appreciate it.
Hope everything went well.
I need some help with doing so business, right? Folks,
I understand
we
business.
talk about it all the time, and you know, I will teach people one day how to do some really cool business tricks, but they're not tricks; they're strategies.
I understand, right?
Tips that just you got to think ahead. But
I'm going to have lunch. So I'm going to take a break if that's
will
okay.
we see you at 3?
I'll see you at 3. Yes, that's the plan. All right.
Right, see you in the parking lounge.
Well, Sasha's here. You're in good shape. Sasha's here.
Thanks for taking over for me.
Bye-bye.
Egg Kit, you know, you shared something with me the other day when you had to take time out that you miss it. Like, you really miss it. Like, I feel like I missed out on a whole show. And because I know these guests, they each one of them are so special. And the whole time, I know I got to focus really hard on my work too. But the whole time, I just kept thinking, what are they saying? What are they?
And I was
You're right.
Message you, but I was waiting. Now she'll join. Now she'll join. Now she'll join, and we passed an hour or so basically.
I know it. You know, sometimes things happen. I want to wrap things up so I can just focus where I need to focus, and but all things are good. What we're trying to do is things that our show has allowed us to do is connect dots for people. So every once in a while, Ann Kit and I have to step aside and help people connect dots, and it's all for the COVID cause, right? We're trying to help people make the right contacts, get the right resources, because sometimes the government isn't doing their job. So we say we'll do it. We'll help you. So. I've actually met some people who are actually helping people get food. We were talking about that today. So, so Sasha, how is it?
Okay.
That's
good. I was analyzing this little show about chess masterpieces, what we had yesterday. There were some good moments, some were not so good, but I think we can develop into something. It goes in the right direction. Maybe I have to think about more format changes, like make it maybe a format of chess cafe where you look the games and you play some games and maybe a little tournament. So a little bit more variety and of course contests.
I think you could almost engage maybe adults to come and not just learn how to play chess, but like you said, you fell in love with your wife playing chess. And maybe engage some couple games, right? So
that could be, yeah. Many years ago, we organized one special tournament for couples, and a team was one man and one woman. So it could be a couple or not. Anyway, but then we couldn't really continue a big time with this format because then you have to think about gay couples and lesbian couples, and of course, gay couples with stronger teams than lesbian couple or mixed couple. So there are some issues with that.
I think just open up the door for anybody to come. I love this cafe type style of, we're doing here, because people go, why are you always drinking coffee or tea on the show? And I go, well, one, I'm sitting there for 4 hours. I don't know about Ann Kit, but I would go dry in 4 hours. And 2, we're supposed to be drinking water or coffee or tea. Yeah, Ann Kit's got his power tea and drinks. But I tell people we're there to inspire you to do these things anyway. And what better way to do it than if you're setting the example? But
you can look at the old formats like even CNN and all anchors now drink, I don't know, coffee they drink or some other drinks. So it's especially that they have to broadcast from their homes. So,
yeah, they do. Yeah, everybody's broadcasting from home. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I watched a show last night where they converted to doing the broadcast from home and to other people's home because they interview other people around the state. And so I was curious, how are they doing? They're using our exact same format. And, like everyone, they struggle a little bit. There's little ins and outs and fading in and out, but they're more relaxed. They're drinking whatever's at their coffee table. And I think they're going to like it. I think they're not going to want to go back to the studio. Really. I think Nick is that way. He doesn't want to go back to a studio anymore. So
people who understands how to work online and how to utilize the digital platform, I think they won't go to their offices and studios. They prefer to work at home and spend time with family and try to avoid going out and keep the social distancing in flow. And that also saves a lot of money because once you go out, you save time and money as well, and you save your health as well. So
it's horrible news. It's horrible development for real estate companies.
They
is. Are all going out of business now. Okay. Do you think about like all retail, like in Georgia, they would open Georgia, all restaurants and little shops, they're all open. But do you think there will be lineups of people who want to go to these places? I happen not to be.
You won't believe it. If I had a big land, I will convert that land into forest and invite people to visit that forest at a ticket, and you can have a forest life maybe for a couple of days. So it's not about real estate, not just about concrete. Basically, you can utilize it money different ways.
So there's going to have to come a new way. And I'll tell you, one of the things I learned about when something shifted and you thought that particular industry was going to die, the mail industry, right? Everybody was doing everything via electronic, paying your bills electronic. And the mail industry was really crumbling. Like they were not getting the postage that they needed to stay alive. And they were even talking about closing down a few days a week. And I'm like, oh my God, you can't do that because for people who have to file legal papers, we got to have that file stamp from the U.S. Post Office. We'll miss a date. You can't do that. So what happened? Amazon. All right. And immediately shipping picked up. So, U.S. postage got back into business and now they're delivering. Well, I kid you not, one day, Sunday morning, a U.S. post office truck pulled in my drive. I thought the guy gone postal. I thought, oh no, we got somebody who went crazy on us. And instead he's delivering me an Amazon package on Sunday. So it not only developed jobs back for them and income, but they are working 7 days a week now. So I use that as an example that when one thing dies, sometimes other things evolve. It just we're gonna revive the music industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of changes will be in the music industry, that's for sure.
I think this is coming up as well. I mean, there are a lot of innovation going around and people trying to understand how they can improvise their industries and how we can work on new industries and new culture of living and new culture of work ethics. I think, life will be as good as it was earlier and I think more beautiful with a good environment and a good way of living with respecting each other, caring everyone and enjoying it as a global community rather than individual communities with different economic and other things.
It's become a safer world. Oh my gosh, Ankit, when you talked about your crime rate dropping, Sasha, I have got to share with you, in Miami, the murder rates dropped. Like they went for 7 weeks now, 0 murders. That's never happened in history, not since 1957. 0 murders. That's never happened. That's insane. And our earth is cleaner. Everything is cleaner. Everybody I talk to, so I think we got all these great things. Why not stay at home and enjoy some chess games?
Well, so criminals are now out of job, so they have to claim some assistance because how they will survive.
Well, okay, so and here's what's interesting, and I'll give my little spiel that in the cyber when I go speak in cybersecurity, that Warren Buffett even says that the greatest danger to mankind is cybercrime, and it's more dangerous to mankind than even nuclear war. So, in several like 2 years ago, the crime rate was generating $2.8 billion in losses, cybercrime. So when I lecture people on cybersecurity and privacy and all of these things, I tell them that the criminals have more incentive to do the crime than we do in stopping them because they make millions of dollars while we only make $100,000 a year. Doesn't balance out very well, if you ask me. And you need a hacker to fight a hacker. So it's kind of hard to find an honest hacker to pay them $100,000. So there are all kinds of ways people can commit crimes, and the biggest crime is hacking, and we're going to see that go up. We've already seen that go up during this. But to me, the physical crimes of people going into stores and holding them up by gun, the physical crimes of murder, most of those have dropped. Now, domestic violence has not dropped. This was a fear of mine. Domestic violence is a crime that happens in the homes. And, just recently, a friend of mine's friend was killed. Her father and his son were killed in a crime. So we're going to see, but I just find it interesting that people are not going out committing crimes. Like they're not. Are they scared? Are they scared they're going to catch COVID? Maybe they'll stay at home and play chess and learn something and become better people. I don't know. What do you think?
Do you know this? It happened, I don't know, probably 10, 15 years ago. There was I think it's in Florida, a couple owned a house and they went for a cruise for 1 week. So they closed everything and so on. So the burglar went into the house and he's got some stuff. And then he wanted to exit from the garage. So he closed the door and he couldn't open the garage door. And he couldn't open the door because it was locked already by the time that he closed it. He couldn't go inside the house either. So he was there for a week. So finally they came and they hoped that it was horror. And do you know what the end result was? He sued them for forceful entrapment and won huge amount of money.
Oh, what? Oh my gosh!
He won huge amount. It's like probably $500,000, I think.
How did he win that case?
No, okay, sure, he committed a crime, so he went in, so the intent was there. So for that, he could get probably, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks in jail. So he was guilty, but nothing compared to what happened to him and what reward he was awarded as a result.
That's crazy. So he sued the homeowners because he got trapped in their garage for a week.
Yeah. That's right. So he was suffering.
Crime. It does pay to commit a crime.
No, but it's like they looked at it as two different events. Okay, one, he committed a crime. He has to be, of course, convinced and get guilty, get 2 weeks in jail. Okay, that's one part of the story. Now, the second part of the story, that he was entrapped against his will. So he was, and this crime, actually, they were supposed to also serve a jail time for this. But they were spared of jail and just had to reinstitute $500,000.
I've seen
reward his sufferings.
So we have a castle and doctrine now because that happened a lot here. So people would get their homes broken into, very dangerous criminals, because they come into your home, right? But the people were getting sued because the dog bit the criminal or the criminal got shot while they were trying to run away, which you know, I don't know if I would shoot somebody running away, but it depends on what they're carrying away with them, or if they shot at me. But we got this new rule called Castle Doctrine, and so if somebody is voluntarily in your home when they shouldn't be, they can no longer sue you if they're injured because they are there because they're not supposed to be. Now that in doctrine, I think just came about maybe 10 years ago because so many people were being sued, like what you were talking about. That's crazy. Don't you think that's crazy?
You know what? The cleanest way to do business, unfortunately, I must say, but it is obviously simply kill the criminal. Once he's entered your house, just kill him. I mean, it's awful to say that, but this is the cleanest, easiest, cheapest way to deal with this problem.
Well, dead man can't talk, and he certainly can't sue. But what happened in the U.S. were the families of the dead men were suing the people at the house. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. You know, the dead man can't talk, and he can't sue.
Exactly.
But
And you can always prove that it was self-defense.
self-defense. But
It's awful, but
you know, and I just think crime shouldn't be a career. Change your career. It's a very hazardous thing in this area. People will shoot you down here where I live. People will shoot you. You don't even cross so we have boundaries on our property, and people will have sign no trespassing. Then there's signs trespassers will be shot, even though that's illegal. You're not supposed to do that. That trespassers will be shot. And I guarantee you, my neighbor, if somebody's walking on his property, he's going to walk out meeting them with his shotgun. He will go out and meet them and greet them with his shotgun.
you know, I think it's still being taught in some business schools. Business 101. What is the highest return on investment? What business? The highest return on investment apparently is robbing the bank, because all you invest, you need a gun or a replica of a gun, which will say a couple $100, and probably a car, which could be a used car of some kinds, and that's it. And you can walk away with hundreds, thousands, or even $10,000s of dollars.
Right. There's a good movie about that. Hold on just a second. There's two good movies about that. I'm going to see if I can find them. Let's see. But just like we were talking about, the highest return, The Old Man and the Gun. The Old Man and the Gun is Robert Redford. Have you seen that?
No.
And he just can't seem to stop robbing banks, no matter how many times he gets arrested, and then he gets let go. He just can't stop. And then there's another one. Paul Newman did one. I love these guys, right? These are the best actors. Let's see, robbing a bank. And they both did these movies, Where the Money Is. And that was done in 2000. It's called Where the Money Is. See, I love all of these old actors in their movies.
Of course, they're fantastic, yeah.
So and that's the same thing, robbing banks.
Is that when the judge asked the criminal, so why did you rob the bank? It's where the money is, Your Honor.
What else am I going to rob?
So in the business course, when they say the highest return on investment is robbing the banks, then they say, although it is true, this business is illegal for all intents and purposes, it's just illegal, but the highest return on investment.
It is, if you think about it. Well, it depends on what bank you're going after and how many resources you put into it and how many people you hire. I mean, like if you watch Ocean 11, right, all that they go into to rob a casino, I think a casino would be better than a bank.
Yeah.
But the problem is, okay, the banks will send the feds after you, and the feds are generally not going to shoot you. The casinos are going to send their security guards after you, and I have a feeling they're going to shoot you first.
Yeah. First shoot, then ask the questions.
Yeah, they're going to be the ones that dead man can't talk.
That's exactly the case.
That's right. Well, you know, Sasha, I'm glad I got to talk with you, but I think we're going to have to wrap up. We got our ambassador. Did you get to watch our kids' show today?
No, but I will to find it. It's going to be on YouTube.
Yeah, we had two 4-year-olds come on and tell us about COVID.
Oh, interesting. Actually, yesterday it was, I think, 2 hours program on CNN about COVID for kids, and they were discussing. Dr. Gupta was there. It was very, very interesting show.
Oh wow! Okay, I'll have to check that out. I barely have
Yeah.
time to eat, but I do try to check out what else is going on in the world. But anyway,
Okay.
Good news, some good fun, and theater. I just love the fact that our murder rate has dropped. So
That's good. Good news.
how you doing, Ankit? Ankit gets so still. I think he's frozen. Yeah, he smiled.
So it was good, and it was a good Super Sunday for us. And I think we missed Sasha in the initial part of the show, but that's all right. You can watch us recorded shows, and feel free to comment on YouTube. And we are coming up with the next show, which is at 3 p.m. EST, and that is about Alexandra May's musical cafe. And we have a very interesting guest lined up with Cindy Alter, with Nathan Vidro, and Isabella Jane, and all are from South Africa. And it will be good fun, and we are all excited to enjoy the show live on IBM TV. And before we wrap up, I'll just play the social manner message with what we used to play. And here we go.
कोरोना वायरस से कैसे बचेंगे? ओके, हैंड धोकर और ऐसे अपने खांसी जब आएगी तो ऐसे करेंगे, अच्छू अच्छू, और कोरोना वायरस को धन्यवाद हमारा म्यूजिक सुनने का.
There you go. That's our future, folks. Thank
so
you
I
very
think
much.
it's time to say goodbye and spread a lot of love and stay calm, stay united, and stay at home. And I think the best medicine we have so far is prevention is better than cure, and that is what we can stay at home and stay alive and stay united. Thank you, and see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.